Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our favorite tax guy, David Roque. It's that time of the year. It's tax season. Tax season is incredibly daunting. It's intimidating. It's a time of the year that you really need somebody on your side that understands how to get you the most out of, everything that you've worked for all year. So having somebody that you are not intimidated to go and speak with and ask questions, somebody that's going to do whatever they can to make sure that you can maximize your returns is crucial during these times. David is an accountant and paintball player from South Florida with over 6 years of personal and corporate tax experience. And he has clients throughout the United States. So it doesn't matter what state you're in, he knows the legislation and he's willing to do whatever he can to make sure that you feel comfortable in getting, the most out of your return and are confident that his filings are, done with due diligence. And I can personally say so far, David has been excellent. We are so incredibly happy to be working with him with Play the Game podcast. He is doing all of the PTG filings and tax returns, and so far he's been absolutely amazing. We have a pretty complex situation with Tyler being in Arizona and myself being in California, so he has been amazing at answering all questions and making sure that we are comfortable in filing this return. He's really good at maximizing your return and making sure that you keep all the money that you can out of the money that you earned. So why not go with him? If you have a small business or have thought about starting one, David is also there to help you out with understanding corporate taxes. He can help establish your business, start up payroll, or help with bookkeeping. This is all really important stuff, and this is stuff that we're learning, Tyler and myself, along the way. We need better techniques, and we're going to be using him going forward, absolutely. Let him know that you're a fellow paintball player and that you're recommended by us at Play the Game, and he will make sure to help you out for under $200 for a federal and state return. I mean, that's crazy. That's great prices. If you guys have gone to H&R Block or any of these other places, they charge a hefty fee. It's pretty expensive to do your taxes. So we have somebody in the paintball community that is offering a great service at a premium price. And we hope that you guys definitely check him out. You can find him at his email, droque954@gmail.com. That is DROQUE954@gmail.com. He's fantastic. Check him out 100%. It is Roque Accounting. That is his company. That is his business. This is what he does, and he's here to help you. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. Lone Wolf Paintball is an online supplier that has been around for a very long time. They've actually been Michigan's premier paintball field and supplier since 1987. Now expanding into the online retail store, they are really trying to do their best to supply everything you need to the paintball community. They have it all. You can head over to lonewolfpaintball.com. If you want Field 1, HK, GI, Dye, it doesn't matter. They got it. You can surf the website. You can check it out. They have what you need, guaranteed. And they also boast excellent customer service and same-day shipping. That's pretty badass. You could go to the website, order something, and it's going to be sent out that day. That's fantastic. That's amazing customer service. So again, guys, if you would like, you could head over to lonewolfpaintball.com. You could also check them out on YouTube and Instagram. Their Instagram is lonewolfpb, and their YouTube is Lone Wolf Paintball. And you can see and keep up to date with all their latest deals, their sales, their content. It's a lot of really fun stuff. Play the Game podcast is excited to have them on board, and you guys should head over and become part of the community. All right. This episode is brought to you by Transfuse. Transfuse is the only all-natural electrolyte drink that you guys need to have in your cabinets. We love this stuff. We've been using this for an entire season now. This stuff is amazing. I feel great when I drink Transfuse. I drink it every single day. I don't go a day without putting a packet of Transfuse in my water. It's very easy, very portable, easy to travel with, and delicious to drink, which means that you're going to love drinking it and you're going to drink more of it, which is going to be incredibly beneficial to your health. Has magnesium, potassium, sodium, which are all amazing for proper hydration. It has zinc, vitamin C, vitamin B, and choline. These things are incredible cognitive enhancers and immune boosting formulas that you don't want to miss out on, especially in times like this. I'm telling you, I drink Transfuse every single day. I love it. Tyler does as well. Anybody who has tried it has been just pouring with great feedback back to us. There's a reason that they're at all the NXL events, and a lot of the top teams and top professionals are using this product. Do not walk around dehydrated. I never realized how dehydrated I was, even when I was drinking all sorts of water. It's not enough. You need the proper nutrition. You need the right ingredients. Transfuse has done a great job of curating the perfect formula. Transfuse is absolutely spectacular. And for all of our listeners, there is a special deal for any Play the Game listener. If you head over to translabs.com, that's TRANZLABS.com, and use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout, you will get 10% off. If you subscribe, which means they auto ship you your package every single month, whatever you want, whatever type, whatever flavor, whatever electrolyte formula you desire, they will give you an additional 11% off. So it becomes a 21% discount exclusively for all Play the Game listeners. Huge shout out, and we are incredibly thankful for our supporters. And if you guys would like to go support them, it's translabs.com. Use code Play the Game. We are brought to you by Heal Brand. Heal Brand is the best CBD company that we have ever come across. I've been taking CBD products for years now, and I absolutely love it. But Heal Brand has taken my CBD consumption level to the next tier. This stuff is really the luxurious, high-quality, best brand that you're going to come across. Their whole claim to fame is the nanotechnology. It's the real deal. The claim is that through their nanotechnology, the CBD can actually break through the cellular wall and get into the bloodstream much faster and more efficiently. So you need less to do more. Often CBD products, you'll need to take it for a couple weeks before you really start noticing all of the benefits. With this stuff, as soon as you take it, you notice it right away. Within 15, 20 minutes, you're feeling the benefits of CBD. CBD is great for inflammation, anxiety, sleeping, all sorts of different stuff. CBD is really exploding on the scene because it has such a wide variety of benefits. I personally love to use CBD before I go to bed so I can get a full, well-rested night of sleep. Sleep is so crucial. It's so important. If you want to recover well, if you want to fight off depression and anxiety and those unwanted emotions, proper sleep is where you need to start. CBD products really help me do that, and Heal Brand CBD has a wide variety of options of different products, different formulas. It is all natural. It's amazing. This stuff is fantastic. You guys can head over to healbrand.com, check them out, and there is an exclusive offer to all of our PTG listeners. If you use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout, you'll get 10% off. All right, PTG fam, welcome back to the show. Tonight we have Greg Siewers on from LA Infamous. Greg has been around the game for a really long time, one of the most dedicated and determined players that has ever played the game of paintball. He is relentless in his attack, his approach. He also owns MAP Training, which is a physical training company designed to make you, a better athlete and just overall performance, both, on and off the field. So it was great to sit down with Greg and talk with him. He's played on a lot of legendary franchises. We got to share some awesome stories. Greg is an old teammate of mine, and Tyler as well. So it was, again, just some great conversation, a lot of fun, and you guys are going to enjoy this one. See you in there.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication. And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Thomas Taylor, the triple OG, mother effing OG of all these Lizard King, Snake Lord, you name it. We got him here of LA Infamous, old school excessive dominator. What's up, bro?
What's up?
Yeah,
what
baby.
I'm honored. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Dude, the honor is all ours. Are you kidding me? We got the troll on the podcast. Let's rock.
Hey.
Let's go.
Dude, you were nicknamed the troll before it was cool to call kids the troll.
Yeah.
You were the original troll, which is, I don't even know how you got the nickname, but it was before.
Well, we could talk about that today. Because when I got it, it wasn't cool either.
Yeah.
Care about it.
Shout out to the paintball troll and all the paintball trolls out there one time.
Right.
Yeah, right. Oh, dude, we got some insight actually on who the paintball troll might be. I got
no way. Put him on blast.
Yes.
Here.
Hold on a second. Me, Mouse, and Kyle were talking
I want to know.
The other night, and we were talking about it being. Who was it they were saying? In fact, it's not that.
Oh, come on. With the who was it they were saying?
Like he don't know. He's like,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I think they're saying it might be Harris, but I was like, there's no way. Hold on.
No, fam. Not the one.
No.
Oh, boom. Ryan Mahoney from Florida. So they did some recon, and it would make sense. Ryan Mahoney has been a big time online critic. We'll put it nicely, critic for many years. And I guess some buddies, some close friends, I'm not gonna put them on blast either. I guess I kind of did about 10 seconds ago, but it's not them. some other buddies did some recon.
Some other friends.
Yeah, some other friends. They did some recon, and they're like, dude, we figured it out. We know who it is. Their hashtags are very similar. They're always saying very similar things. The grammar's similar. A lot of things match up for the paintball troll to be the same as this. Yeah. Yeah. And so Ryan Mahoney.
And there was a lot of paintball troll stickers in the porta potties at World Cup. So he was definitely there.
No,
every time
really?
I tried to take a peek, the peak thing was covered with a paintball troll sticker. I'm like, can you drop them in the this side? I'm trying to pee on this side.
That's
you know
so
what I mean?
funny.
Yeah,
I like
you're trying to that last second pee real quick before you're gonna play. I don't want no splashback. I'm just trying to get in there and do my thing. I got to stare at a paintball troll sticker.
I like that.
Splashback.
You were staring at yourself.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah, fair enough.
Bro, like, come on, that's an honor. You're like, oh, paintball troll. That's me.
Yeah.
That's
when he first came up with it, I messaged him. I'm like, good pick on names. Good pick. I like it. Solid.
So where did you get the name? We have to know now.
Okay, so I think it was a condensed version.
Yeah,
because I could go on for a while about it.
Don't be afraid to go on for a while too. We got all day here.
Okay, well, this will tie into when I went pro, but when I went pro for the Ironmen
back in 1946,
back when most of you weren't even swimmers in your daddy. You hadn't been thought of yet. So we'll get into this later, probably talking about some stuff, but I wasn't there for the pro tryout, right? There was they flew people in for this. I was just there practicing. So I ended up making the team. Like I said, we'll go into detail when we talk about all, my history and stuff later. But I get an offer for the spot. Well, they just picked me up because I guess of, some of my attributes as a paintball player, but they didn't actually know what my name was because my name's Thomas Taylor, right? And some of my things said Thomas, some said Taylor because, back in the day, it wasn't always just your last name. They're both first names and they're both last names, right? So I know people named Thomas and Taylor on either side. So instead of just manning up and saying, hey, yo, what is your first name? They thought what? We'll just call them every name in the book. So, you got Oliver and Rich and Yosh and Catfish, all these dudes. They'd be like, yo, hey, Tyrone, Tristan, Ting Tong, whatever they could come up with, right? I made that one up.
Baby.
They never call me Ting Tong. I just made that up.
Well, you best believe that's your new name. You best believe I'm never calling you. Honestly, I don't know if I'm ever going to call you anything other than Ting Tong. Hell yeah.
So,
Ting Tong.
So, yeah, I think this was before Teletubby. So thank God, because I'd probably be called Teletubby right now. So anyway, so one day someone says troll, right? And they're all giggling about it. And then someone I had the bleach blonde tips. It was that time when we did the bleach blonde tips. We had the puka shell necklaces and all that kind of stuff, right? That was that's how old I am, right? And so someone's like, oh my God, look at he has troll hair. And then someone else was like, oh, look, he got little troll hands. And then they just started doing all these troll pictures, right? Well, me being the new guy and not smart, I didn't like it. So I started fighting back, knock it off. And of course, that just fueled the fire, right? So then it was troll everything.
Yeah.
They had a song. They'd be like, I'd roll in the house. They'd be like, Troll Patrol. They had all this stuff, right? Just because they knew it pissed me off, right? And so then, in my almighty wisdom, I thought, okay, fighting it's not stopping anything. I'm going to embrace it. Well, here we are 20 years later. So,
and especially with those dudes as well, trying to trying to stop that from happening. Yeah, there's no way.
No way.
Come on. These kids don't know. And you guys, we talk about it a lot, but now you get on a team and you have to baby people and coddle them and, tell them they got a, good job, give them attaboys. You come up in the ranks, people get all butthurt. Back then, yeah.
Oh no!
I mean, you were there. You were.
Yeah. I was a baby.
Paintball was a different animal. You got beat up. you got spit out, and most people
Dude,
just said, okay, I can't handle it, and left, right? So yeah, it was
mostly
brutal. But anyways,
in Modesto,
it was a troll.
which is where you like cut your teeth at. I was just a kid, and I saw you when you very first, like the first weekend you showed up from Cartel, when you were going to make the team out in Modesto. And I'll never forget that day. I was like, oh, this is their new star, you know, this is the new guy that's coming up and going to be the flag runner for you guys. So it was cool to watch that grassroots, like firsthand out at Modesto at Extreme Paintball with Rich and all those guys. That's crazy.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
All you don't know, Tyler was like up to my
Your
waist
hip.
at that point, right? His pants were like cut 12 times and rolled up, still too big for his body. And then now he's twice my size. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I clearly,
Let's go.
He's more ripped. He's faster. He's taller. Way more devilishly handsome. I don't know. I got lost in the past somewhere along the way.
Dude, it all came from you, Thomas. I swear to God, man. And like we go deep. I was baptized, you know, with you. Like that's heavy duty stuff. And we have a
amen.
Yeah, we have a very deep connection.
Hold on, what do you mean you're baptized with Thomas? That's when you were 1 year old.
Well, not in the same.
No, I was reborn
at the same church.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't when I was baptized when I was born, and I was always I was baptized again as well.
Okay.
And with in Modesto when I was a teenager, at the Grace Davis Church in Modesto over there, which is a beautiful
we're all
place.
going to the Church of Christ. Yeah, amen.
Yeah,
Mike
absolutely.
Crowley, he's in Texas now. He's running the church out there. Yeah.
Nice, good for him. Yeah, what a great guy.
Yeah,
you guys.
That was an awesome day when you rolled in. You're like, "Yo, I want to get baptized." Mike's like, "What?" You're like, "Yep, right now I made the decision to do it." He's like, "Okay, a men's Bible study is off. We're going baptized."
Made the decision to do it.
Yo, he just it's Tyler. Come on, Marcel. You know, he just rolled in and was like, "It's happening." Okay, let's rip.
Give me the holy water, baby. I'm ready.
Yeah, right.
I'm ready.
That's right.
He went into the tub and he came out and look what was created.
Wow,
there we go, baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. Nice.
Yeah, that was a heavy duty night, and Mike is such a tremendous speaker. Like, just really knows how to tap into the heart. And you know, I just was feeling the spirit. We had been studying together for a little bit, and you know, when it's time, and it's never too late or too early for that decision. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amen.
Amen. Huh?
Yeah.
Amen, baby. Amen.
Yeah.
Agreement.
Yep. Get the water. Water's that's what you need, people. Get that water.
Some Transfuse. Is this where the plug comes?
Yeah. See, I got the Transfuse right here.
Transfuse.
You never lose.
You drink Transfuse, Thomas?
I do. I don't have a ton. I got to get on the better plug. You know, my boxes don't show up, but I got a bunch of World Cup.
My boxes don't show up. Bro, we'll send you some. It's the best stuff ever. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I actually really do like it. I really do like it. So
yeah, man, it makes no sense for you not to have it, especially out there at Impact. I want to talk to you about your the park that you work at as well, or manage what you. It seems like you are putting that park on the map. So we'll get into that in a little bit. I've never heard of that park until you, and it seems like you're always doing cool shit there. So if you don't own it, you should own some of it at least. Put
Hear
that
Jason?
Time
to cut out.
I'm just saying, you know, like, you're putting it's called street cred. You know what I mean?
Right.
Street cred.
Feel me.
Yeah, for everybody that doesn't know, that's Impact Action Sports. And so the listeners know where you're coming from, T. Where are you teleporting in from right now?
Yeah, so we're just south of Portland here, about 20 minutes outside. The field is in Tualatin. We live in Wilsonville. So up here in Oregon, there's like this little body of land where the rivers surround us, and so we're inside that little circle, which is cool because it's easy to get in and out and do our thing. Yeah. So awesome. Northwest, right here, about an hour and a half north of Corey. So he got this thing down at Diamond Hill, and he's rocking it. So it's pretty good.
Yeah. They're the best. Shout out to Corey. How is everything up there? Has everything been okay with everything going on this past year? You guys hanging in all right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like everybody's dealing with a new life, a new crazy. We were already on the crazy train because, 2018 World Cup, my town burned off the face of the earth. So, No, we'd already been uprooted, and we moved up here, and the kids were already homeschooling, so they'd already had to do that. And
Yeah.
so when COVID hit, it was like, I mean, it was really hard in a family. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, it was
Dude, that
really
was
hard because the
oh my God,
kids
that was
are
insane.
struggling, right? So,
Yeah.
but we had done it the year before, so we just kind of rode with the same thing. And honestly, being in paintball has been really good for us because we were shut down for a couple weeks. I was like furloughed for maybe like 6 weeks total, but paintball's outside, so you social distance. I mean, our sport is social distancing. So as long as you got a big enough area and you have the right crew, I mean, you know, I've been able to keep working the entire time. And
the way you play is
so,
not really social distance. You're always trying to bunker people. You get real close. You
yeah,
invade that 6 foot rule, bro.
But I just go through real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get mine, baby.
I'm gonna get mine. No, I hear you're right, dude. Paintball seemed to do very well during the pandemic. You know, again, it's outdoors. We're in some sort of mask. No, it does not replace a surgical mask. I get that, but you're outdoors. We're in masks. We're distanced. We're not passing a ball around where we're all touching the same object. You know,
Right.
it was a sport that seemed to do fairly well during all of that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people can get out and
You
be
need
real.
it.
You have to get outside. You need exercise. You need the God-given sun. You need natural vitamins, not a bunch of chemicals pumped in your body. Kids need to interact and do stuff and be social. I mean, you look at a lot of it, you know, and if you're listening to this and you decided to stay home, God bless you. That is your choice, and stay inside for a year because that's what you needed to do, whatever your circumstances. So I'm not hating on into that, but you look at all these kids that are now struggling with depression and households that are messed up. You know, there has to be an outlet. You got to get outside and take it in, and you know, just heal from it. So, and paintball's given a lot of people that opportunity during this time. Really, truly. I mean, I love the sport for a lot of reasons, but you know, when I started, it's because it was a family thing you could do together, right? So, like,
Totally.
and it's during this time, I think it's even more important, right? So, you know,
Man,
I hope more and more people get a hold of paintball around the world because it's something you can do outside and be safe and healthy at the same time, you know. So
even without the pandemic, it's always been a sport that like get outside, be part of it, you get involved with nature, run around, sweat, exercise.
yeah.
And it's all inclusive, you know? Anyone can do it. And any family, father, son, father, daughter, mother, son, mother, daughter, you know, cousin, brother, sister, it doesn't matter. You could all play paintball together and have such a good time and run around and exercise. And it's the best sport in the world. It truly is. I'll die saying that.
Amen.
Yeah, me too, dude. And you don't even realize that you're getting the workout, that you're getting in the nature, that you're just having so much fun playing paintball that like you said, it's all inclusive. You're just getting it all by osmosis, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, I played a lot of sports over the years, but paintball, when you're on the field, there is nothing else happening. You can't be like thinking about anything else. Paintball is that's it. You're locked. You're literally locked in, right? You know, there's so many things going on, so many variables. You know, there's no time for your brain to do anything except for what it's doing right then, right? I mean, you are totally locked in. I mean, it is a escape from reality, and it's a good, healthy one at that, right? So,
yeah,
I mean,
because you have a lot of people who, you know, there's a lot of different ways that you can get that escape, but I think that paintball, health wise, is probably one of the absolute best that you can do.
absolutely,
It's up there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to get outside, have some fun, run around, shoot each other up with paint. It's the best.
Oh yeah.
It hurts too. It's good pain. Good pain.
Yeah. Indeed.
Release the demons.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
So Thomas, let's get into it, my man. How did you start playing paintball? What was your first exposure? What got you into this crazy game to bring you up to the legendary, you know, status that you hold these days?
Well, I mean, by probably like most people, it was by chance. I was I think it was wrestling. One of my dudes in wrestling, his church was going, and he said, "Hey man, you want to come play paintball with my church?" And I was all, I don't know what paintball is, but cool. I think it was like 14 or 15 or something, you know, maybe junior high, something like that, maybe like ninth grade. Yeah, so I went out with the church group, and you know, you played back then. It was like in Washington, so like a 20 acre field or something. You know, you walk for like 10 minutes before you find anybody. But yeah, I mean, dude, I knew that day I loved it. I mean, it didn't become immediately my passion or my sport, but I mean, all right. Speaking of pastors, I'll tell you my first kill ever on a paintball field. I'm rolling down this trail because I remember where the flag was, right? I come around the corner and a dude steps out of the bushes and he's facing the other way. And remember, it's not my church, it's someone invited me. But you know, when you're going there, you're like one of those buses, the pastor had been talking. So I see this dude and he's walking opposite his back of me. I had that moral dilemma, like, so that's a pastor. Do I shoot him? Do I not shoot him? Like, oh man, it's paintball. I gave him one right between the shoulder blades, chicken winged his butt. went and got that flag and started hugging it back. But
this was a live game. It was like he was playing against you, and
yeah, he was on the other team, bro. He was on the other
fair
team.
Game.
But I had that moral dilemma. Like, I just met the dude like an hour before. You know, I'm a younger kid. He's an adult. He's the pastor. I was like, nah. He signed up for this. He's getting it.
He'll never forget. See, but then if you wouldn't have, you know, maybe you don't have the connection that you do, you know, if you don't, you know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah.
Dude, that's funny.
But yeah, so that was my first exposure to paintball. And I think I did that when I was like 14. Then I played with their church again when I was maybe 15 the next year. They invited me again out. And then it wasn't until sometime that following year, I think, just some buddies that said, hey, you want to play paintball? And I played a couple of times. And then we just went out and started playing. And it was like, okay, well, this is something we're going to do outside of my other sports, right? And real quick, like, I think most people that get hooked in our sport, right, once you've done it 2 or 3 times, I was like, okay, we got to go get paintball gear and we got to start playing. And you know, so back then you had to go to like an old school magazine and flip through like 1,400 pages because stores didn't exist, and they had all these sweet packages and you're like, ooh, I got to get this package, you know. It was a whole different animal. You only got these like packages you would buy. But yeah, so we got into it and we played a few tournaments that year. I think it was like, maybe then I was a junior. I was a junior.
What other sports did you play prior to getting into paintball?
I did a lot of stuff growing up. When I was young, I started in soccer. And then I did wrestling, football, rugby, and track through junior high and high school, depending on what I was. You know,
wow.
My track was more like I did some cross country too. I was never really into it. I just went to it because I was fast.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really like the training. Like, I could train for football. I could train for rugby, wrestling, obviously for paintball. I mean, you guys know I put in work. Like, I still to this day, you know, those little kids are gonna have to outwork me if they're gonna want to come take my spot. You know, I mean, but
love that
track. I could never get into the
what was it about their?
I don't know.
You didn't like.
I don't know. I think because it was like the
that's
last
weird.
Of the
That doesn't
season.
make sense.
I think it was just like, you know, because I would do my other sports and I would get to it. And by that point, I think I was just kind of burnt out.
Okay.
And it was like, I could compete just running, man. I was fast. I mean, I've always been fast, you know, and you train for all your other explosion stuff, you know, your other sports, soccer, football, rugby. So I don't know. There was just something about it. I never fully got into it. I enjoyed it. You know, I even tried hurdles and I was tiny. I mean, I don't know. It was fun. It wasn't my jam.
Okay. You were happy just skating by there. You were like, this is cool.
That wasn't, you know,
not what I'm going for.
Right. I mean, this is probably one of the reasons, like, you know, for Keith, you know, he just played, shout out to him, just won his first tournament, Young Guns, first tournament he ever played. But,
let's go.
Yeah,
good job, Keith.
To listeners, that's your boy, that's your son.
Yeah, that's my son. We can talk about that later. He kills some fools. But, you know, allowing him to play everything or encouraging him to play everything, because you have to be super passionate if you want to do what we do, right, boys? I mean, there's no way we're dedicating this amount of our lives unless it can't just be something you're good at. Like, I was just good at track. I mean, just, you know, it wasn't something I didn't want to go to the Olympics in track. That wasn't my jam. Like, so it was hard to be motivated, you know. In wrestling, it was easy because you're out there on point. It's one-on-one. Like, I ain't letting those dudes down, and I ain't trying to get punked in front of everyone. That's not happening. Forget that noise, right? And then in football and rugby, if you didn't put in the work, you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay the pain toll, bro. I mean, you paid for it anyways. It hurt either way, right? I mean, you know, so
Talk about
But
brutal sport, football and rugby. You're getting rocked. Every point's a car crash.
But I think they set me up for what I do now, like, for being a snake player and still playing the one,
Yeah.
and that bang
You
mentality.
don't play the one anymore, bro.
Well, I like to sneak in some twos too.
I was giving you a hard time, of course.
I would rather be the two, but then I get frustrated.
Exactly. It's time, dude. You gotta evolve that career
run
back
down there and shoot that guy for you real quick. He's beating you to the 50. He's getting our other guys. Get out of my way.
He's getting our other guys.
Yeah. I like the mechanics. I like the way that you're like processing that, because that's exactly how it goes in a game. You start getting pissed off and frustrated. You're like, no, buddy. Okay, here's how this is done. And you laid the framework for countless players to come through, with or without credit being given to where it's needed to be. But like, you've inspired so many people to play paintball, man. And it's from that grit. It's from that hard-nosed paintball mentality that you're talking about. Like, get the hell out of the way. I'm going to do some work, Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate that.
I mean, that's all. Like, growing up, dude, you were the guy to watch on the snake side. It might have been Mohawk. I don't know. Maybe the Mohawk. It was always painted a different color.
Right. Shout out to Taylor. Way to make me look good.
Shout out, baby. No, but it was like you were just electrifying on the snake side. Like that's just kind of that's your thing. With excessive. And during that time too, watching you guys battle with Dynasty, you guys were the only team that could take them down at an event. And you were a huge part of that, just going through the snake and just doing work, just relentlessly, consistently attacking over and over and over. So like you're, maybe a lot of players, you're evolving a little bit into like more of a role that I play now.
Yeah.
We get no credit. It's all about the action and we get no credit. But like the role that you played for majority of your career, and it's unfortunate to me that in paintball, sometimes it feels like legends kind of like their story doesn't get told the way it does in other sports, And for so long, in honestly, like the magical days of paintball, the golden era, as a lot of us say, 07, that whole time, you were the guy on the snake side. You were that guy over there that was just, doing work, putting in work, winning tournaments, putting teams on your back, and taking down the Blue Dragon,
Right.
Which at that time, those dudes were badass, they still are. Major love to all the guys.
Yeah, of course.
Like, bro, like I want the tone to be known for the listeners of how much of a badass that you have been in this sport from the start of your career and are still a badass,
Hell,
but,
I appreciate that.
Like that shit
appreciate
is, like you changed the way the game was played in a lot of ways, and you made a fashion statement. You showed up on all levels. You're someone that the sport, it was just electrifying.
So talk to me about the Mohawk. Where did that thing come from? Whose idea was it? How did that come to life?
Where did it go?
Yeah. Oh man, I've done a lot of crazy things with my hair and just.
You're all about piercings. Like you like piercings. You like the tattoos. You like the
You had your tongue pierced for a long time, didn't you? Right? Tongue was pierced.
Yeah, for a long time, and then I got older and I was like chipping teeth and I had kids and stuff.
Well, I was gonna say, is that why you had kids, or did you have kids? Like
that gap ain't from chipping teeth, people. I was born that way, so don't worry about it.
It looks like it'd be the perfect spot for a tongue piercing to just go right through.
It did fit right through it. It did fit right through it. And I can leak like probably 20 feet. So so I don't know. I've always done crazy things, I guess. Always through high school, wrestling, whatever. Just I'm just different. I don't know.
Well, it brought something to the game, dude. The branding that you came up with, it was the perfect time with the perfect style, with the perfect moment with the team, going against Dynasty, all these cameras on you. And then you got the big, red Mohawk or whatever color you chose to color it for that event. And it's just branding. So kind of like tell people how important that is, to brand for yourself and make yourself get out there.
I mean, it's huge, right? I mean, it's absolutely huge. Like you first have to make a statement on the field, right? So like my first cover of a magazine, there was no mohawk on there, right? It was just me. I think I was coming around a 50 snake or something, veins sticking out, stabbing someone, right? So first you gotta get out and make yourself known and be in a position to be causing damage, right? Totally. But when I did the mohawk and then more people wanted to like, whatever, I could tell like, oh, hey, people like the mohawk. They said stuff about it, right? So obviously I wore it for a lot longer than you probably should wear one haircut and any one God-given life. But what people don't understand is
wait, Thomas, real quick. Do you still you don't still have a mohawk? You've got like a cool side part. You got like the side part. It's classic.
Yeah, it's up high.
Bro, can we please bring the mohawk back for the first event? For one event. Can we bring it back for one event?
Here's the deal I have with Tiff. When I bring the hawk back, when you see the hawk, know that it's either my last year or my last event, bro.
Oof. Okay.
So
all right.
You see the hawk.
Heavy.
Rough event.
Heavy.
For me, a lot of tears at the end of it.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to see the hawk. We keep the hawk away. Keep the hawk away.
But I like that though. I like it because that'll be a moment. I like that. Okay, fair enough. Cool. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Did we'll share that final moment with everyone. When it goes down, right? There are, daily we get message to bring the hawk back, and it was cool. I mean, when you go back to branding, we all have our thing. You have your style, you have your play, but to really make it in any sports world, you have to be good and then you have to stand out, right? So you got to be an elite and then you got to stand out. And, you look at football players and trying to grow their hair out the back of their helmets and, dyeing their hair different colors when they take their helmet off. I mean, people are trying to grab it. Fortunately for me, I realized real quick the mohawk was a thing and I stuck with it. And it was built into my personality. So you got to,
he's the troll.
Branding yourself, right? Yeah, you got to brand yourself. I mean, it fit the troll too, right? I mean, it's all pieces put together. So, but to really make it and get paid, we've all gone down different paths of how we've made it in the sport. I know that I didn't just get paid and do what I did in our sport because of surely my talent. I was marketable. I mean, there was a reason why you roll into a Walmart and you could see me on a box because I stood out from everybody else. Right. Totally. The reason I was able to have the opportunity to get on the box is because of what I was doing on the field, though. Right. So they go hand in hand. You have to make sure that, if like I love, certain teams, I won't name them. They all like to wear the black beanies, black goggles, black everything. So they're all the same. Cool. But at some point, you probably want someone you can market to help your team generate some more income or be something good for one of these sponsors out there, because the individual also helps the team, and it's it's cyclical, right? I mean, it all works together, right? So you got to have pieces of it. So
yeah, you got to have a good balance for sure with the team, style, and that's really what it comes down to is like, you don't want everybody to look exactly the same. We need a little bit of sauce over here, a little flavor over here, a little bit of this. And then you can have half the team who wears the black style or whatever and just, all murdered out with the black goggles, black beanie, all that. But we do need some, some caliente in there too. We need some flavor.
And honestly, it's just built into my personality, man. I like
absolutely. You're a rocker.
Do me, bro. I just like to do me, bro.
Real quick, what's funny about that though, is marketing and building your brand is such an interesting thing. And we talk about it a lot. And I think people go astray. I think people make a mistake when they listen to that kind of stuff and they decide, okay, I need to create an image for myself. And then they try to pursue an image that they want that's not actually them. What I mean by that is what ends up working the best is just doing well in so like you said, be good first. Be good first. When you do that, stand out
for the wrong reasons. Exactly.
Don't stand out for the wrong reasons. Be good first. Once you do that, whatever your natural brand is becomes marketable. Like that's why you have someone like Alex Goldman who he doesn't need to get on social media. He doesn't need to do stuff. And he has these things that are said about him. He wants it for the money. Pay the man, right? Like we joke about it all the time. I'm like, we can't get Mouse on the show unless we pay him. He's one of my best friends. He's not going to come on the show unless we pay him, But he's made that image work. You've made like your image work. you can make your image work as long as whatever it is that you do, you're good at. Right. And so I think people commonly, they make a mistake of trying to create an image because they hear this kind of stuff. They hear these recommendations from like Gary Vee, or even from, from us, from a lot of people. You talk about it, right? Like, be marketable. So they try to like pretend to be someone. Everybody can see when you're pretending.
No, be natural.
They see right through it.
It's not about pretending to be someone. It's about figuring out what is uniquely you and running with that, and then also being really good at what you do. Like, it's an important thing that we haven't touched on the show. So I just wanted to kind of interject there.
Well, yeah, there's you have to master your craft. If you're not a master of your craft, I don't care what it is. If it's selling Girl Scout cookies and you want to sell more Girl Scout cookies in the next one, first learn how to be a good salesman, then come up with what's going to stand you out from everybody else, right? I mean, you have to master your craft first. And if I just showed up, let's think about it. I show up to Rich's Field with a bright flaming mohawk day one. I might not even have gotten the opportunity to get on that team, right?
Yeah.
No, instead I went out there, not supposed to be there for a tryout, and got on a pro team. I'm thinking,
yeah, that was big.
You got to have.
But you're right.
Work first.
It's being genuine too, and don't like be natural, be very good at your craft like you're talking about, but also naturally branding is what you want to do. You don't want to try to box yourself in and try to be something that you think is going to work. Just be you and be genuine. Yes. And the genuineness is going to work far more than trying to pretend to be this idea of what you think it should be, Yeah. Keep it simple and be natural. That's the key to everything right there. Keep it simple, baby. Thomas, talk to us about how you got into tournament paintball and kind of your grassroots on, getting good at the game. Obviously, you went out, you played with the church group, you shot the pastor in the back, and then you're getting into the sport.
Let's pick up where we left off. So, I got into it with I was at high school with some buddies. We played some events. We had some fun. I thought I was pretty good at it. They thought they were pretty good. My deal is I didn't grow up in a family that had any kind of extra funds. So for me to do anything, sports involved or anything really, I had to go earn that money. So, I only got to play like once a month, once every like 6 weeks, they were playing all the time. So I think after that first year, I kind of hung up all my gear and I went and focused on school, right? So I got out of high school, went and did my firefighting thing. I went to college, I spent 2 years just on the grind. Let me tell you, that was a real grind, people. You don't know what a grind is until you've gone like 3 years, sleeping like 2 hours a night.
Straight, I want to hear about it.
Get yourself through that.
You're sleeping 2 hours a night, bro.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I got into a car accident. I fell asleep once because I was working so much that if I would pull to a red light, I would fall asleep at the wheel. Like someone would honk to wake me up. I was working full time at the fire department, a full time job, and it wasn't quite full load. It took me 3 years to get my 2-year degree because I had to sleep sometime, right? I had to sleep every once in a while. But I mean, and nothing against my parents, man. They did what they had to do. There was 7 of us in a really small place, and it was. You want to do something in life, you had to go do it, right? So I was going to go do it. But so I took a break from paintball and all that because there wasn't no other time, bro. Like there wasn't no other time for anything. But one day, one of my lieutenants was like, "Hey, we're all going to go do some paintball in my backyard." He had like 10, 15 acres or something. And I was like, "Oh, hey, I have paintball gear somewhere. I mean, I haven't seen it in like a few years." And he's like, "Well, sure, if you want to come." I was like, "Okay." In part of becoming a firefighter, you have to make these connections, and so I'm on list to get hired, and I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go bond with these guys." So I go dust off all my stuff. I roll down to the local paintball field, which didn't used to exist 3 years ago, and to get air. And I roll up, and there's these people there that we used to go meet behind like a grocery store. Like there was like the secret meeting paintball place you used to go play when we were in high school. Like you rolled up and you shot the trees. If the bark came off the tree, your gun was too hot. If not, you're gooch. Go play paintball, right? So, yeah. Chronographs didn't exist back then.
Hell yeah.
All right, so there's
that's tight. That's fucking tight.
You would go through the woods. You see this, they were like first strikes, but paintball's coming at you, dude. It was wild. So I roll in and I see these guys, and I'm like, "Hey," they're like, "Thomas." I'm like, "Oh my God, it was Ed and Margaret." And I was like, "Ed and Margaret, like, this is your field?" They're like, "Yeah." I was all, I haven't seen you guys in years. Like, yeah, we opened a field. Anyways, they're like, hey, why don't you come back, come back one day. And when I showed up, they had these things called airball, right? But that didn't exist when I played in high school. You just played in the woods or you behind hay bales or whatever, right? Like tournaments were not, there was no air. And there was like, these bunkers that were all blown up, connected with tubes on the ground. I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. So
yeah,
I go play with the firefighters. Super lame. They just hid in the woods for like 20 minutes for time. It was not a good bonding experience. Like, man, these guys are ridiculous. So the next weekend I show up at the paintball field and they're like, yeah, come on. And dude, they got me, right? Ed and Margaret, wherever you're at in the world, love you. And they let me come back for free. So I can use this on people, right? So they said, come back. I got on that airball field, man. It only took once. I played on that airball field. And after like 3 games, I'm hitting the 50 in like 2 seconds, just murdering people. I haven't done this in years, but we didn't get to play like this. We used to have to to hit the 50, you ran for like 4 or 5 minutes, right? You're like jumping over logs, running through wood. I mean, like you were like on a trek back then, right? So
you would think that would make you even more dangerous though back then. Like,
oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I ended up
running
behind
their side of the field.
Teams. Absolutely. I'd pop up behind and be like, oh my God, I have like 8 backs in front of me. Chunk, 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 chunk. Just smoking them down with my auto cocker, just piecing them up. And every ball counts too. Back then you shot people twice. They're like, oh my God, you overshot me. You overballer.
Overballer. I've heard that.
Dude,
yeah.
Overballer.
It was a different time.
Oh, dude.
What year?
Thomas,
what year
I
was
can't.
this?
Hold on. I can't wait to talk to Thomas about changing the name of the God Bunker.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. Okay. You got to let me know.
But what year was this,
that
Thomas?
In a little bit.
Yeah. This was 2000. So I started playing in 94 to 96 a little bit when I was playing in high school.
Yeah.
I probably hadn't played since 98.
Wow.
And this was 2000, and I came back. So I came back. I was like, dude, I'm in love with it. Some of the guys I had played with in high school were there playing. Instantly, they were like, yo, bro, like, you're still good. I'm like, cool. And then the local field had a tryout. They started for a team, and I said, well, I think I'm just gonna go try out and work my way up because these guys have been playing, a while. So tried out, made their team. It was like a local rookie team. We were called the GOG Kids. We just got to play with those guys last.
Wait, what was the name?
Last GOG Kids, GOG, GOG. Yeah,
GOG
before there was
Kids.
GOG now, there was already a company called GOG. I'm not sure how that works, but because the field their field brand was GOG, Game On Gear, I think it stood for. Yeah. So we were the GOG Kids, and we like I said, I got to meet up with these dudes. We played a 7-man at DHP last year, and we won that thing during COVID. So that was cool. Some of the dudes got back into paintball. Yeah.
Awesome.
But we went on just a terror. So like I took all my sports training, and I made all these kids. So they were like 13 to 16, and at that point I was 20. And I said, oh, we're gonna train. And so within like 2 months, we were beating up the novice team that they had there. And then we got into the tournaments, and we played 3 different series, won all 3 of them. It was just, they were calling us the Iron Kids. I didn't know who the Iron Kids were at the time. Because, it wasn't social media back then. Right. So, and I hadn't been in paintball, so I didn't have no like DVDs. Like, okay, cool. I don't know what the Iron Kids is, but sweet. Right. Couple years later, I found out who the Iron Kids were. I was like, oh, that's a pretty good comparison. I'll take that, right? Like, I'll take that from the voice, right?
So how important was the training regimen, and what did that look like for you guys to start beating the novice teams and start taking those steps to becoming a better team?
So it's like any other sport. It's fundamentals, and you guys do your BKI thing, and you guys teach. People show up to these things, and they've been these clinics. Oh, I've been playing 4 or 5 years. I'm ready to go pro. And you're like, dude, you just don't even know how to snap shoot. Like, you don't tell it to them like that, but you're thinking it like, so people get off on the wrong foot, right? They create all these bad habits, and it takes so much longer to do them. So my thing was like, hey, we're not going to create bad habits. We're just going to learn how to do it. So we worked on basic fundamentals, snap shooting, communication. And really back then you didn't do running and shooting, stuff like that. I would try that. And then other guys would be like, oh my God, no one does that. Look, here we are now. Everyone running shoots everywhere. I'm like, man, I knew I could have done that 20 years ago. You guys told me no.
You were on a rookie team teaching these guys how to play.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know how to play
Yeah.
either, but I wasn't going to go down losing. That's not my style, though.
I love that. No, I just love
know?
the passion to like become better, because you've carried that passion. We talk about it all the time. Like, you work harder than just about anybody in the game. You know what I mean? And that's what it takes to traverse and get to the new levels.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just show up on the weekends and play paintball and think you're gonna make it somewhere. I mean, you know, we were back then. We would play every single weekend, and then we would show up on the weekdays when no one else was around, and we'd be out there snap shooting poles and stuff. And then we go to tournaments. And I remember our very first tournament as the God Kids. We were in the final match, and I think it was over in like 30 seconds. I mean, we just murdered them. People were just like, oh my goodness. But we won a lot that year, which was cool. And I mean, that set me on my path. So that year we get all our things, we got all our accolades, whatever. There was a team called Ravage out of and then there was I'll think of the other team in a minute, but they came to me and one of my teammates and said, hey, if you fly yourself to World Cup, we'll cover all the costs. This is our first year playing paintball, dude. And we're like, solid. So we flew to World Cup. Excuse me. We flew to World Cup, and we're playing. Back then it was AM A, AM B, and Pro. For those of you that don't know, you haven't been around, there was only 3 divisions. Now you guys get like 72 divisions, and you're worried about people sandbagging and crap, bro. Like you were thrown
D3,
right to the
D5,
wolves.
D6. What are you talking about, D6? What are we talking about here?
I know, and then everybody's like, "Oh, they're sandbagging. They played for a couple of years." Like, dude, back then you were amateur. You played a tournament, it was amateur, unless it was local. Then there was like a rookie knob thing, right? But like you went to an event. It was amateur A, amateur B, and pro.
Yes.
So we went to this event. I've only played my rookies, never played national, and we have no offense if you're listening. We had an older dude on there that was ranked higher, so we had to play the higher one, the one below pro, right?
You sandbaggers.
So, I know, right? So we show up in these like green like long sleeve shirts. We were wearing purple ones, so we upgraded to green for this thing, and we draw Dynasty actually in our bracket because because it's AM B, it's AM A or B A. So you would play 2 teams above your bracket, 2 teams below, and then you play your other 4 in the middle, right? So we get there, we're playing our team, so we go to play Dynasty. Now, to be fair to the boys you play with, so back then in 5-man, there was 2 Dynasty teams. There was the kids, and then there was the adults. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know this at the time. Once again, you gotta put me in a space back then, like no social media. So I don't even know who Dynasty is.
What year is this? What year is this?
This is I would guess this is 2001 World Cup.
Oh shit! This is the inception of Dynasty. This is
that they first started.
Okay.
This is their first year.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have 2 5-mans. We pull what I found out later was the older of the group, like Squires and
Beaster. Was he
Brad
on the team?
Mon, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Brad was on there. All those guys, right? So
okay.
We won all our matches up to them, and then we get to that one, and the 2 supposed amateur players, the rest of us have been playing paintball for like 10 months, are like, yeah, we're sitting this one out, we're gonna lose. That don't go well with me. I'm like, you're what? Doing what? He's like, yeah, we're sitting it out. I'm like, that's not cool. That's not cool, right? So they decided to sit it out. So I look over, and it's me and my boy that was from my original team. I said, listen, I'm gonna take that center 50 and take that thing off the break. And these are 10-man fields, right? This is a ginormous field with fishes on it. We were on a PMI fish field. There's fishes, and in the center was this dome, this massive structure. It was like 10 feet high and like 20 by 20, and you had to go underneath it, right? And then there was like these things, and the flag hung right there. So I run in there to add to the story, because I'm always injured. I'd blown out my ankle at a firefighting thing like 3 weeks before that. So I got this thing all taped up, right? Anyways, I run to that thing off the break against Dynasty. I get there the same time as whoever from the Dynasty gets there. We both go for the flag. I come over, pop, 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 pop. I dunk him. When I go over, everybody on Dynasty shoots me. I swear to God, I got shot like 12 times. And this is like, I'm thinking, how did I even get shot so much, right? But he comes down, and the ref runs in. And when I went over, he like spun. So the ref wipes all these hits off, right? Wipes them off. But they let him keep the flag, which I didn't understand. We don't have to get into that. But So the Dynasty is so pissed that I'm in the 50, right? And I don't know who's in the 50. I should ask because I'm talking trash the whole time. He's like, you're out. I'm like, stop talking. Them players don't talk, bro. Like, he's like,
Please don't talk, bro. Hell yeah. And you're like a kid.
I'm just a kid. But I don't know better. I don't know who Dynasty is. I don't know. I literally couldn't have told you a single pro person's team or name. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just there doing my thing, and I'm mad because the supposed amateur players won't play with us. So there's so much attention on me. My other buddy that came with me from my original team, he gets in the snake, and this is old school snake. Once again, if you're just listening to this, used to have a tail and a tongue and a tail. So it's one of those ones that starts off real skinny and it works up to a head. So he gets in there, he crawls down, and everybody's just shooting. I mean, he shoots like 3 or 4 of them.
Oh.
Right. And then they just shot like 2 of our guys. We shoot the last one. And we're like, whoa. So I pull the flag out of dude's hand. I'm like, what do you guys say now? He just takes off. Right. And he's like, what the hell ever. So we go back there to hang the flag on Dynasty. They're hucking guns. You call yourself pro players. They're young. I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is sweet. This was good. So that was my first like national experience. I got to go there and beat a pro team.
Your first national experience, you took down Dynasty.
Yeah,
I love it actually.
They won, boys.
I love it.
They won.
I love it. Hey, any store to take down the wise men on the team, Tyler and I are here for.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, but like I said, I want to be fair. It wasn't Alex, Oliver,
Yeah.
He had the crew. But it doesn't matter. They had Dynasty on their jerseys, boy. I gave it to him.
Hey, who would have known that it would go full circle and you would be fighting for your ass out there, all those tournaments.
Right. So, 13 months later, I go pro, and then, next thing you know, or we're battling, I think it was 2 years after that, 'cause we played year with Ironmen, but yeah, then we became a battle. But no, it was a really cool start to my story. I mean,
dude,
I knew after that first year that, paintball was going to be a part of my life. Like I said, we did so well at God Kids. I was really passionate about it. We went to World Cup. We did really well there. The only reason we didn't go to finals is, once again, that amateur guy was on the field by himself for like 5 minutes and just didn't hang the flag. I'd shot everybody. I don't know what he was doing. Anyways.
Yeah.
But no, it was wild. Like, back then, if you got shot, you hung the flag.
Yeah.
Last dude.
Yes.
So I traded with the last dude in the snake, and I'm holding the flag. First off, I went to the middle, got the flag, retreated, shot a couple guys, went and got the guy out of the snake. So all he had to do was like take it from me and go hang it. We would have gone to finals. I probably would have won in my very first World Cup ever. Instead, it was pretty sucky.
Who was it? Let's put this fool on blast. Come on. Let's put it on blast.
I'll be real with you. I can't even remember his name anymore. I was so mad.
Okay.
I never played paintball with him again. I never played paintball with him again. I was done with that. But while I was there, this is cool because this is how I got on Cartel while I was there.
This is all before Rabbit. Cartel.
Mm-hmm. This is all before. This is my very first year, my rookie season, dude.
Bro. Okay. Wow. They just threw you into the fire right away.
Fire right off the bat. Okay. Right. So we're there at World Cup. We do this. The team that we don't hang the flag against is called Ravage, which the next year becomes Cartel. They seen what I did to them, right? So they seen what I did to them. They're from the Northwest, and they're like, after the game, they're like, "Hey, man, that sucks. So why don't you stay and play 10-man? Just extend your flight. We'll cover all your costs again." So I'm like, another free tournament, I'm in, right? So I stayed for 10-man, and I can't remember how we did. It wasn't great, but that was my first experience at 10-man. I remember my first game. We roll the team, and I'm over there like trying to find the center flag. Mm-hmm. There's no center flag in 10-man.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's on their side of the field.
Bro, I took this crazy 50 off the break that no one was taking because they were just like, how they picked me up. I'm like, I'm going to take that thing. Like, no one makes that. I'm like, I'm going to take that thing. I take this thing and I am murdering people. Because, in 10-man, you would pop up in places. People like they weren't prepared for it because bunkers weren't shaped. Like you just show up like, oh, I have nowhere to hide. So you just have all these free kills. Yeah.
Talk to the listeners about 10-man because there's probably so many players that listen to this that have never played 10-man. I really want to dig into that era and like the nostalgia. It was amazing. It was timeless.
It was. I mean, 10-man was the best. I mean, the next year, Ravage went on to have tryouts. They switched their name to Cartel. I tried out. I got on the team, and I got to play a whole season in 10-man. But 10-man was just wild because you shoot 5 guys, you're not guaranteed to win. It was these long, drawn out, kind of like we do chess matches, but a slower chess match, right? I mean, you're really trying to work your bodies into position. And I think it was so much better for paintball. You know, for you listeners out there and you're struggling to get on a pro team or work your way up, because we got to play our best 5 every single point. And even at practices, we got these layouts. We got to learn every bounce shot and every stupid little thing. 10-man, you could bring people in. You could work them into your system. You could train them. They could get reps. They could actually play at events. Because if you lost a guy early or a gal, it wasn't as big of a deal as you lose someone quick. Now you're like, oh man, we're down 4 and 5. We're in trouble, right? You know, like
But to be fair, honestly, if 10-man got as competitive as 5-man, it would be the same thing. You wouldn't be able to bring one person in as a weak link. Like, it's just the way it sits right now.
You wouldn't need 10. You wouldn't need. So right now we need 5 guys that are probably an 8+ to win an event, right? Let's just be real, right?
Yeah.
You know, with 10-man, you could have those same 5 guys, and then you could have another 5 guys that are maybe a 6, 7.
Now you
right?
could. Now you could.
Right.
I'm saying, like, if that became the dominant force and teams were like, you would eventually, then now you need 10 guys that are an 8+. Like, if that was the standard, if that was the standard,
it's just so many more bodies though, Marcel.
It is for
like,
sure.
Think about how many bodies we got. Like,
I know.
Even right now, we'd have to add another like 50 players to the pro circuit, right? I mean, so but it was easier and probably more
teams, you know,
and and there wasn't layouts, right? So you didn't have a layout because there was mini layouts. So you brought people in for skill position. You taught them how to play paintball over fitting a layout and a system. But 10-man, I mean, still to this day, I think 10-man and 7-man are better. 7-man, I think, is the best of the 2 animals because it's kind of right in between.
I agree.
It's still, you get the 10-man feel, but it's more competitive. Now 7-man is more closer to what I believe you were talking about, Marcelo. It's you could have one-ish wink link in there because it happens, but then it's going to get tight quick, right? So but yeah, the 10-man days, I mean, going there, that first couple World Cup I went to, I think it was the one when Solomon shot the from the woods. And honestly, I was right there when they were throwing their jerseys in the trash. I should have grabbed them out. They were bad nutty down. But I didn't know who Avalanche was. I just saw these guys throwing tantrums over there, my bunch of babies.
Oh my God. That's crazy. That was my first World Cup too. That's insane. So that was both of our first World Cups there. Yeah, that was the 10-man madness.
So, well before my time.
It was awesome though. It was great. I mean,
yeah.
And that's I mean that's really where I cut my teeth, right? Playing an entire year with Cartel. I got on that squad and we had a really good season. We got to World Cup and I think we were sitting at like 3rd or 4th or something. And Cap Factory was number 1. Dave Baines, Glenn Sakamoto, Neil Everly, Roy Richard, Jason Barrett,
Duffy.
I mean, their team was stacked, bro.
Dude,
and,
oh my God, it was the best team ever. That was my favorite. That was my all-time favorite.
Right. I mean, it was a crazy stacked team. They're shooting. Yeah. We're all shooting. In fact, I got it right here. Zechariah was playing with it today. He went and had me pull it out, right? So we're shooting these bad boys, right?
Yeah.
Cartel,
for the listeners. Yeah.
Yeah, we go right there. We're shooting these. They're shooting Timmies that are shooting with halos, shooting like it looked like something out of 300
real
off
quick,
break,
Tom.
dude.
So we gotta say because majority of our people just listen. They hardly any watch the YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Head over to the YouTube. Check out the gun that Thomas just pulled up and showed us because it is lit.
Yeah,
that is so
right
OG
here,
right there.
This is a 2002 World Championship gun. This gun right here took down Cap Kids, which every single player went pro. Every single player went pro. Only I went pro on my team, just saying. For the win on the JT field with the biggest Mayan temple JT thing you've ever seen, dude.
Yes.
We won that.
Those were so sick.
It was so
the pyramid thing, dude. The JT fields are always so sick because they had the big ass pyramid.
Massive. In the finals against them, we sent 2 guys to it and they basically laid underneath it and just their only job was to watch the 50s because we knew we couldn't out gunfight them. They had fully automatic Timmies. I'm telling you, it looked like something out of 300. Like we're shooting clinkers and they just have a wave of paint coming off the break. You're like, oh my goodness, it was crazy. But yeah, dude. So we won that World Cup that year. That was my first world championship in 2003. Took down that crew, which later I realized how just what a feat it was, right? I mean, because
Seriously.
once again, all those guys are top pros, right?
Yeah.
They all for their time came in and they banged and they all went pro, and I got to play with a lot of them and played against a lot of them for a lot of years after that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that was what set me up, right? So
Yeah.
we won that world championship, and you know, it was, you guys just won one. You know how it is. You never get old, boys, right? I mean, that's why we put in all this grind. We know we're gonna lose 10 times more than we're gonna win, but that win, you hold that thing forever. You out there, if you're listening, you're like, oh man, I've worked too hard. I got 3 years in. Oh, I'm tired. My body's beat up. Dude, I've been doing it 20 years. I'm still chasing more wins. Because when you get them, you get to hold on to them forever. Who cares about the losses? Everybody loses. You lose every day in your life, all kinds of things, man. Get over it.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Preach.
Go after that win, boy. Go after that win, because it's so damn good.
Dude, that's what it's all about. And the fields, like the listeners don't even know these fields that we got to play on. There was like going to a carnival or something, you know, they were like these awe-inspiring fields that you got to go and play on. They were crazy. You were saying you were on a fish
ball field and make it 3 times the size.
Yeah.
3 times the size. And bunkers that are like huge. I don't know, like a party tent. I mean, they're massive. There was things on fields. I mean, you played fish and snakes. There was a field, the spider field had a legit spider that was over 30 foot wide. 30 foot. I remember having to play the belly of that thing one event, shooting across through its legs, dude. Chunk. Like, I shot so many balls out of my autococker. I was like on my 10th finger. I think I was in there with my tongue, like pulling the trigger because I shot so many balls from that damn thing. My fingers were so tired.
Yeah, and it was like, mechanical. Oh yeah, for sure.
Really, it was actually difficult to pull the trigger.
We didn't have space
I think
guns.
We need to go back to semi-automatic. It doesn't need to be mechanical, but semi-automatic. Let's go, please.
I'm in all day.
Let pulling the trigger be a friggin' skill in the game.
Yeah,
it should be. I don't know why it's not. I mean,
I don't know why it's not. I hate that it's not.
Yeah,
I hate that it's not.
Everybody's running around
because it is a skill.
It is. I shoot really slow. I do. I'm not gonna be real with you. I was never a really fast shooter, but you know what? Like, I never missed anything. You know, so I just made every ball count. You know, I think you know, and starting with that, honestly, if you're out there and you're listening and you got yourself a space gun, put it in semi-automatic, get yourself a mechanical gun, and go work on your snap shooting then. Because if you can hit something with that, then you pull out your space gun, you're going to hit anything. When a space gun gets going, it loses its accuracy. You're moving around too much. You're hoping. You know, you're. I mean, it's true though, right? I mean, go back to building the fundamentals. Like, I mean, you got to have that single ball, you know, quick twitch muscle. Put it right on spot.
Absolutely. All of us, I mean, I know we all didn't start with space guns. You know, we started with things that shot a lot slower, and you had to learn how to shoot accurately. Otherwise, you ain't hitting nothing.
No, because you didn't get that many opportunities. You weren't going to throw 50 balls in there and pray to God one caught, right? You were getting like 3. That's
so true, man.
But yeah, so 10-man was a blast. It was a blast. And that, I mean, if we want to keep going story-wise, I mean, we won that. We get back, we have a team meeting. I'm like, yo, I'm sticking with you guys. It's all good. We're going to do that. Like a week later, you know, whatever you guys believe out there, I'm going to let you know what happened in my life.
Yeah.
I have a dream that I'm supposed to move to California and I'm going to go pro. Okay. So I wake up and it's vivid. Okay. Still vivid to this day. We're here 19 years later. Still remember it like it was yesterday. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. So I pray about it. I'm like, is this like real? Like, am I doing this? At this point, I'm finished my schooling. I told you guys I spent 3 years. I generally slept 2 hours a night is what I was able to do, right? Worked 2 full-time jobs so that I could become a firefighter. That was my passion. That was my dream. That's what I was going to do with my life, right? I was on list to get hired. That day, I rolled in, told my lieutenant, hey, I think I'm going a different path. He said, no, you're not, Thomas. You didn't put in all this work to do this. I said, yeah, man, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. You know, I'll give you a time frame. And he couldn't believe it. I called up all my friends. I let them know, hey, man, I'm moving to California. Like, what are you going to do? Like, my lieutenant pulls me in the next shift and says, well, how much are you going to get paid? What are you going to do? You know, because, you know, you build these relationships. I'm like, oh, I don't know if you get paid. I'm going to do it. Like, he said, what? I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I had a dream. And he couldn't fathom it. You know, he couldn't fathom it. But I knew that, one, I was going to go pro because I dreamt it and it was going to happen. And two, I knew that I needed to, the saying, burn the ships, right? Like they did in Mexico, really burn the ships, right? No, we're going to take over this land. The only way to do that is you can't have a fallback plan, right? You cannot have a fallback plan. So I knew that I was going to go zero fallback plan, and I was going to go pro. I mean, I didn't have an invitation from any team. I didn't have anything. I called up an uncle that worked in NorCal, Paradise. I said, hey, you do construction, you got any jobs? And he's all, yeah, sure. I said, cool. Can I rent a room? Cool. So I left, I quit everything. I moved to California after attaining a world championship. I already had a world championship, and I had put in the sacrifice for 3 years to become a firefighter. And I got a hold of J2 Bouchard, if you remember him. He used to play in the Ironmen. I said, hey man, can I just when you guys go down to practice in Modesto, could you ask your guys if I could just practice around you, even against you guys or whatever? Like, I don't even have to practice with you. Can I be around there? And he said, okay, I'll ask him.
I haven't heard that name in forever. JT.
Yeah. Great human being. Human being. If you ever listen to JT, I love you, man. Great human being. And so I started going down. So I moved down, I think in November, December. I went down like every other week when JT would go down. He'd come and I'd drive him down, or he'd meet up, and I just went out to practice. On the third time I went down, the first time I went down, it was a really bad showing. I just shot a nail gun through my hand. If you've never done that, don't do it. First week on the construction job, I made a bad choice. I bent a 16 penny nail with the bone in my hand. It went through the wood, hit my nip, and it bent. Yeah, you can still see the little brown spot.
I do. Yeah. Oh my God. For the YouTube, he's
memory.
Still got a hole in his hand. This is insane. Oh my God. Dude, and who would have thought?
It wasn't a good showing the first time I went down.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good showing. So I went down, and it was brutal. I couldn't hold the gun by my left hand at all. Second time I go down, I thought I played okay. Third time I went down, I noticed there was a bunch of other people there, right? And this is what we were talking about earlier. Like, I think Nicky Cuba was out there. Okay, I'll have to ask him for sure, but I think they flew him out. There's a bunch of people there trying out for the Ironman. The Ironman had, Di had flown people in. I mean, Di had a lot of money, probably still does. They were spending money on their team. I just happened to go there. So we run through all the drills Saturday. We do our thing, or they do their thing. And then I kind of just tag along in the background, get my drills in when I could. And Sunday morning we show up. Everybody's getting on the field, and Rich and Oliver pulled me off to the side. They're like, hey, we got to talk to you. I said, okay, cool. I'm thinking they're going to tell me like, hey man, we're going to do our thing today, with the guys or whatever. And I was going to be cool with that. Like, listen, I know I'm not here for a tryout. I want to get reps. I know I'm going pro. I'm telling you, I already knew this. And they're like, yo, so you want to be an Ironman? And I laughed right in Rich Telford's face. Have you met Rich Telford? You don't laugh in his face, okay? You do not laugh in Rich Telford.
This is true. This is very true.
And clearly, they took offense to it. And that's when I realized they were serious. And I was like, oh, wait. Like, you mean actually? Like, well, I mean, we're only picking you up because you're fast. I'll take it. I apologize. Yeah. Cool. I'm fast. I'm in. Like, I'll never forget it. We're only taking you because you're fast.
Yeah.
Not only was that the best, worst thing they ever could have told me, because if you didn't think I was motivated before to be good, those words have never left my mind. Right. I was like, all right, that's it. Well, man, we'll see about that. So, I mean, that was it. Like, they ran the whole next day. I don't know who they went and talked to that day. Whoever else they went and talked to. I know at the end of the day, Neil Eberle, which I just beat at World Cup, didn't know him yet. He got picked up, which was cool. So like we battled it out, Cap and Cartel, and we both went pro together.
What a guy Neil is.
Do you think, Dums, do you think in your prime, do you think you were faster than Mouse in his prime?
Dude, it would have been real close. I mean, Mouse is fast and he trains for it, and I won't take anything away from him. He's fast. The only guy I know for sure was ever that I wouldn't have beaten a race in my prime is Carl. I mean, no one would ever beat Carl in his prime.
Mouse did. I watched them.
Not in Carl's prime.
Watch him race.
No, I watched him. No, but that was later. That was
I
watched him race too. You're talking about Texas.
It was in Texas. You're right.
That was like 5 years after.
I don't know, dude.
No, Marcel, let me tell you.
You're biased.
Carl.
Well, you're biased too.
Right.
Trust me, anything that I could take away from Mouse, I'm taking away from him.
Mouse, maybe when Mouse hit his top speed, I don't know because we were years apart.
Sure.
But Carl had scholarships to go play football.
Yeah, right.
He was being recruited based on his size and speed. The dude,
Mouse had that too.
And
though.
Here's the thing: that's joke. You know,
he did.
I'll give it. We'll say they're both faster than me.
All I know is like
give it up to anybody else.
They raced, and I watched them race, and I watched Mouse beat Carl, and I'm like, damn, because Carl's fucking lightning. You know,
but you got to realize how many years later it was. I mean, by then I was on heat when they raced.
Yeah. It was like 2000.
It
was like 2013 Texas, I think.
Right, and I'm talking like 2006 Carl.
Yeah, okay.
Just out of high school, should be playing for a college football team.
Yeah, maybe.
He would be running, and someone would shoot at him, and his body would change angles, and he would gain like 5 miles per hour. And you were like, how is that humanly possible?
That's
like,
something that Carl
defied logic.
Yes.
I mean, his speed defied. Like, I did sports my whole life. Like I'm so Mouse is fast, and I played against him. Mouse is real word. He could have done a lot of sports with that speed, 100%. Carl is in all my years of all sports, I've never seen anything like Carl. Like eye test, the dude effortlessly could gain speed while thinking he's like, you would think he's already at top speed. I wish he would have played a different sport. I mean, I love him, and I'm glad I got to play paintball with him, but he could be like rich.
Yeah.
He could have done. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he loves paintball, and he picked his path like I just talked about with firefighting, and I picked my path. We pick it because we love it. You got to love it. But holy mother of, it was just unreal.
Both of those individuals are freaks of nature, you know?
Absolutely.
And Carl, when he was younger, definitely very fast. Mouse is a beast, obviously. It would be a crazy race.
Still got it too.
Yeah.
I mean, Mouse seems to be getting faster. Like he still trains. He still works on it. His Mouse's first step, you know, from all his training is redonkulous. I mean, he comes out the gates, and you're like, okay, I'm already a step behind. Cool.
Yeah.
And now I have to try to keep up with that speed. Awesome. It's not happening.
Thankfully, you know, what works for a lot of players too is going really slow, because if you're in that middle stage, then you'll get hit off the brake a lot. But if you're really fast or you're really slow, there seems to be a lull. I'm just kind of being silly a little bit, but
no, you're not. Shout out to Tim Montresor, Lord rest your soul. He would make more bunkers with his slow little Asian legs than anybody I ever met, and he claimed it. He owned it. He's like, I'm so slow, they never shoot me. Like, he just would run out there flailing it, right? And like,
dude, he's the best.
Again, it does.
He
owned it. He owned that speed.
It has nothing to do with speed, but we do, because we joke about it. But dude, there is something about the way that you make your spot, like the dynamic in which you run, the distance along the back line, or that is more important than speed.
Absolutely.
How you slide into your spot, your body positioning, how you can collect yourself before getting into your spot. That to me is always going to be the most important, because I know I'm definitely not the fastest. I know I'm not the slowest either. No way. I can beat a lot of people in a straight race, but when I'm running to spots, I often am running and gunning. And it's funny. Like if there's a corner on the field, I will take my chances of making that corner more times than put anyone up that you want. Like for some reason, every time we've done drills, every time I've done it in events, I make my spot. I don't know what it is. It's like running a little bit deeper, sliding in a certain way. Like I make it. I make that spot. I'm not the fastest in the league at all.
Right.
You know, there's something about the way that you position yourself on your run that is more important than your actual speed, because you can't outrun a paintball. Right. So like, no matter how fast you are, if you're running the wrong route, you're going to dive right into a paintball.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and like you said, we all do it a little bit different. And, you know, there's definitely times where, you know, you're like, well, I don't understand why that person's not making it. I remember, what was it? Two or three World Cups ago, I was supposed to be playing Snake or playing Heat to go to the finals, and Drew just can't make it past like the, whatever you call in your Dorito entry bunker.
Sure.
And Travis like over there. I was like, okay, sure. And I make like the 50, Like, and then I make it out. I didn't get shot once going white. So I don't know what I did different. Like,
well, it's because you line up on the tape and they go, okay, he's slow. We're gonna shoot for the interior spot.
No way, baby.
That's it. Put me up. Who am I racing?
If you line up on the
40-year-old legs.
If you line up on the Dorito side, I think any team in the league is like, they might be going far over there.
Yeah. For sure.
Huh. Let's put an extra gun over there.
Wait a minute. That seems fishy.
Who were you playing? Now I want to know, who were you playing when you did this?
We were playing Heat.
Oh yeah, Heat. So
we were playing Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they ended up going to the finals and they won the event. They beat the Russians.
Was that the event that Fedorov did that insane move on the Dorito side when they played 3-on-5? They had a penalty.
Yeah, he ran right around the corner to the 50.
Yeah. There's that point. Oh shit.
Was that field?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thomas, who would have thought that your journeys would bring you to the city that I live in Modesto, and then that would be your launching point to do so many amazing things? Like, talk to me about how that turned out. How, obviously, the Ironmen, that was pretty much like their home field. The Los Angeles Ironmen would train out of Modesto in the early days. And
was it California Ironman at that time, or was it LA Ironman at that time? Because I remember
the LA Ironman, because there was two,
and there
was two. Bob had the other
Bob had the California. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I got to see both of them, man. I had the LA Ironman right there. Yeah. I would do drills with them, like Thomas is saying. When I was just a baby, I was like 12 years old, and Rich would let me spar, with everybody, and I'd just get my knuckles split.
Drills, baby.
Oh, the spool drill, yeah.
Spool drills.
That makes you into a man young. You know what I'm saying? That drill alone will make you toughen up quick. Because what it is it's two spools that are like 20 feet apart. It feels like it, at least. And I would say maybe, let's say like 20. I don't know how many feet?
5 feet. Probably 20, 25 feet. No more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you got these couple of cans in the middle, these little barrels that you got to get to and touch. And you got to get around the edge. You got to shoot your player in and get around the edge of this 25 feet apart and touch that barrel to get a point or to end that little set. And then it never stops. There's always someone rotating in, and it's just an never ending.
So, like I said, they told me, hey, we're picking you up because you're fast. So what I said is, okay, cool. Back then they didn't practice as much. So I drove down every weekend on my own. Right. That's why I saw you a lot. Right.
Yes. Right.
I would go down there and Rich would just set these up in the morning. He's like, okay, kid, we're going to do it. It took me 6 months. 6 months, 2 times a weekend, him blasting the piss out of me. Rich is a phenomenal shot. Still to this day, one of the best snapshots I have ever seen. And he was taller, so he could also shoot over him, which I couldn't. I could only shoot out the side. Right. So he had the advantage always. 6 months, and I would drive home. I'd get off work, drive down there, 3 hours down. He would shoot the piss out of me. We do drills and stuff too. But Saturday and Sunday in the mornings, he'd start off by just wrecking me. I would go home and my knuckles would just be bleeding and sore. I'd be swinging the hammer all week. I go 6 months later, I show up and it finally just clicks, right? It's like tying your shoe. One day your kid can just tie their shoe. If you guys, you got kids, someday they always, they try it all sudden. It's like, rah! Yeah, the shoe's just tied. I came out there and I went 50-50 with him 2 days in a row. I left. I've made it. I have made it, people. I shot Rich Shelburne half the time. That next event, I was unstoppable. My confidence level was so high. It was unreal. But I was willing to put in the work, man. What's that?
How important is that? Your confidence level going into it.
If first off, you need to be very confident of yourself, not overconfident, like cocky, look at me, but like, if you haven't put in the work, you're not going to be confident. And if you're just confident because you think you're good, you're in trouble. You need to be confident because you've built it. Like I'm always building it. It's the reason I still play paintball once or twice a week to this day, right? Like building that confidence to know that I can go out there and I can bang against these guys you see on your screen, or if you're listening, these guys are the best in the world, right? They just want it. I want to go out there and know if we're going to get in a gunfight that I got at least a 50-50 shot, right? Because at this point it should be a 50-50 shot. If you got an advantage, that means one of these two ain't doing their work, but it should be a 50-50, right? I mean, let's be real, boys. 50-50. But having that confidence, you have to build that confidence. If you don't have that confidence, you can't go win. Like if you step onto the field, you think, oh man, that's Dynasty down there. I mean, you've already lost. Go home. Just give them the trophy. Walk away, bro. Like you're done. You walk in there like, well, I don't care what division you're in. What did the cartel guys actually just won,
MAMB or pro?
You're one of those divisions. Like if you step in there, like if I had stepped onto that field my very first year, it could have changed my entire outlook on paintball and been like, oh, so that's Dynasty. What back then I didn't know, right? And be like, oh, well, because the amateur guys are saying they're going to sit because we're going to lose anyway, so I should be scared. If I had gone out there, guess what? We would have lost that game. No, instead I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go dunk on that guy. Sweet. Right. And that was overconfidence. I wasn't a better paintball player than him. It just happened to work out. But having the confidence, knowing, I mean, sometimes it's just going to work out in your favor. Right. But having that confidence, like one, if you put in the work, two, if you have the confidence, you can play above your God-given skill set. I'm telling you right now, if you're listening to this, if you're putting in the work, you believe in yourself and you've put in that work and you step on the field and you're like, I am going to be good here. I know because I have set the foundation. I have sacrificed. I've put it in, not just playing paintball on the weekend with the buddies. I shot a case, had fun. Like you're actually grinding. You're going to play above whatever you are. If you're a 3, you can play at a 5. I'm telling you, in the heat of the moment, when it matters, when those synapses are firing, you're not thinking about it. You can play above your God-given skill set. It's guaranteed.
Heck yeah, man. That's where it's at right there. You got to believe, and it has to be true and honest and heartfelt. Like you have to actually have put in the work too. It's not just going to happen by magic or happenstance. You got to really be working. And Thomas, you know that better than anybody, man. Like you said, I saw you show up just out of nowhere. I just remember, I remember vividly seeing you, at the field. And me and Rich were tight because I had come up since I was 11 out there. So he was like my sensei, kind of took me under his wing and was helping me. I know he's the best ever. And then I saw you and you just never stopped showing up. You just never, ever, ever, ever stopped showing up. And you just kept clocking in. And you've had one of the most successful paintball careers that anybody could ask for, like you've won the tournaments. You have an amazing following of people that are devout troll followers, and it's just been amazing to watch your entire journey, brother. It's been great.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, if people want it, you got to work for it. And if you work hard enough for it, you dedicate enough to it, I mean, you can do anything. I mean, like I said, my whole life changed. My whole life changed because I put the work in here instead of the work I'd put somewhere else. 20, where this is pro year 19, man. 19 there we go. Pro years we're going on, so still putting in that work though. I'm not satisfied. I'm not just showing up being like, oh, I'm going to be good at paintball. I'm sure Travis is going to put me in. No, I'm going to go earn my spot first off. Second off, I want to put in the work. I want to win an event. I'm just going to continue to do that. I'll always continue to do that. And so whatever magical number is, I'm out.
Let's go, baby. What was it like living with Rich Telford? Because I know that you guys were brothers. He trained you and he took you under his wing, and all the knowledge that he had gotten from his pro career, he hardwired you with all that.
Yeah, I mean, Rich is wonderful. He's tough. He's really hard to deal with, but he's also one of the biggest hearted dudes you're ever going to meet, right? I mean, he just has a massive heart. He could also kill you probably 10 different ways in half a second. But no, it got to the point where I've been making that drive for 2 years all the time. And I was like, hey, we're pro, we created excessive at this point, we're doing our thing. And it's like, I got to make a change. I can't continue this drive. So I mean, him and Gina opened up their house to me, and they let me stay there, and they let me, hardly pay anything for rent. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they took me in, and then, being able to soaking up the knowledge from someone like that is invaluable. Like you can't even put a price tag on it because he'd already seen it. He already done it. He'd been through the battles. He knew where to go. His mindset was always right in it. And like I said, his skill sets.
He's a killer. He's a killer.
Yeah, I mean, his skill sets were unreal. Like you watch him run around and stuff. You're like, man, he's not the most athletic dude, but he is. He just it just didn't not like the same, like, you know, he don't look like Mouse running across the field, right? But the way he played paintball, what he could do with his gun, how he could control a field, his
it was a little slower, kind of like Carl.
yeah, I like Carl. A little like Carl. He was more like Carl for sure. But no, to be able to have that opportunity to take that in for Rich to be like, okay, well, I'm going to continue investing in you. I mean, and I wasn't easy to deal with either. You know, I got really cocky because I got really good really fast. So, you know, I had to deal with him. He had to deal with me, and it was a good relationship, right? I mean, I don't deny it. I mean, I got lost in my own sauce for a while. I was you're young, dumb, but
you were. I'm telling you, you were the star, man, and you had the ambiance, like the eyes were on you. So it happens, but it wasn't like that. I'm sure when you got on Ironmen, like I'm sure when you first started that journey with the Ironmen, what was that like?
That was like we were talking about earlier about 10 man, right? You know,
Yeah.
even though that was the first year of X ball, they were 10 man. They weren't X ball. Like they were old school. It was tough. It was brutal. Dude, I remember being in New Orleans. That was the first event of the year, Mardi Gras, and it rained all holy hell. One of the fields floated away. It rained so much, like literally picked up and just floated out, gone. And
never to be seen again.
Never to see. I think it was in the corner of a field. It didn't go that far. I might exaggerate, but it was under like 2 feet of water. No joke. So if do you guys play long enough to remember the old school halos that would just like stop working or catch on fire, like the original ones? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm in the corner, and
catch on fire.
My loader, my loader starts smoking, right? Like it's smoking, and it's just smoke coming out of this thing, and everybody's dead, and I'm pushing, I'm messing with it, and these dudes, right? There's fallen coaching back then too, so you could say whatever you want, right? And then there was no like, you got to be quiet in the pits. They were ruthless. Like, look at this effing new guy, doesn't even know how to turn on his loader. What did you like? These supposed to be my teammates, dude. They're like 10 feet away, just destroying me. I'm getting more and more mad. I'm like, lights on fire. They're like, hey, they're just talking trash. So I finally threw some balls in there. I go up to like the 40-yard line. I win a one-on-one against, I can't remember who it was. It was one of the aftershock guys. I win a one-on-one against him. Go take the flag. I hang it. I came in. I was like, I made sure we knew that wasn't acceptable anymore, even though I figured I was going to get my butt kicked in the pits, but I was willing for them to kick the crap out of me, bro. Came in, I was going to loader at somebody, told them all to take the long walk off a short pier. But it was tough, dude. I mean, it was a different group. Like there was no room for anything. Like they came down hard on
who was on the team? Who was on the team this time? In what year exactly?
This was
2001,
2003, maybe
2003,
I think. Yeah. Three. Yes, I think it was Yosh, Rich, Catfish, JP, Matt Marshall, Mike McLaughlin, Neil Eberly and I came on. Neil, myself, Ryan. What's Ryan's last name? No, JT went to All Americans that year.
Oh yeah.
Art De La Cruz, you remember him?
Yeah.
He was on there. He was hardcore. Ryan, what was the family? What's their last name? Keely and Ryan Watson. Thank you. Ryan Watson was on the team. There's a few more, to be honest. We had a deep team, like 13 people. I mean, you used to roll deep back then, right? I mean, 50-minute matches, and you know, no one. I don't think anyone was quite ready for that kind of body exertion yet. Like, people were still. I mean, back then people were drinking
beers before the match started.
dude, their thing was like, hey, Thomas, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go out all night. We're gonna drink, and then we're gonna play X-ball matches tomorrow. So what? Play all night? And no sleep? We got 3 of them things. They're 50 minutes long. Yeah. Oh, okay. But every team was doing it, right? So every team was. There wasn't no team taking it. It wasn't until like someone started taking it serious, and everybody's like, "Oh, I guess we gotta take it serious, right?" You know.
So what you're saying is, if we all show up to the first event in Florida in a month, and we all agree as pro teams, let's just go have fun the night before. that like we as long as we're all in the same playing field, you know.
It was the unspoken rule. Literally, I'm telling you, they never said it was the rule, but it was guaranteed the unspoken rule. Like if you weren't out hanging out with everybody all night long, then you weren't cool, and you probably shouldn't be playing paintball the next day. I mean, it was. I remember dudes puking in the pits, people just dying. I remember one match, JP didn't even play, he just puked the whole time, like in the side. I'm like, come on, dude, like, come on. Like, bro, like, he didn't even get on the field. Like, it was wild. It was wild, dude. That year, though, there were so many crazy stories. I could tell stories for the next 5 hours about that year. Mardi
Please
Gras,
give us some good ones. Mardi Gras, yes, let's go.
Mardi Gras. There's a lot of stories I can't tell about Mardi Gras, but I'll tell a couple. So Mardi Gras, we're rolling around. I don't know what we're doing. I think we're off trying to get crawfish or something. I can't remember. But someone's driving, and you know how like in that area, there's like the area you can be, and then it's kind of like Chicago. Then there's the area immediately you don't go to, right?
Yes,
and like you know, like you got your area, and then you got
streets
the
over.
area. Yeah. And so at some point we drive down a road, and all of a sudden the light streets are gone, right? You know, and so someone whips a Yui in the middle of the road, and I don't think whoever was driving was sober. I can't really remember, but next thing I know, there's cop cars there. We're being pulled out at gunpoint, like, and,
Oh no.
And no joke, we're in a minivan that I think held like 6 or 7. There's like 12 of us in there. Okay.
Oh my God.
There's bags of crawfish. There's things. I don't know what's going on. So we start
bags of crawfish. You found the crawfish.
Yeah, we did. We found it. We all ate them. It was real sketchy too. We didn't die. So whatever. It happened. You know? But yeah, I mean, we got pulled out. We got the full. That was the first time I've ever been like on the ground, full frisk, all because we just turned around. Like I think it was Micah driving. He's like, all I did was turn around. Like, shut up, guns on us and stuff. It was wild. It was wild. We went. And there, every pro team was at Bourbon Street all night long.
Yeah.
Like until like the morning started. Until whenever they kicked you out. Which I don't even know if they kicked you out, and you basically just got in the minivan and you drove to the paintball field. Yeah, I mean that was it. You just just how it was.
When I was on Oakland, like 3/4 of the team would go and just do whatever they did at night. I don't know, because I was 14 years old, 15 years old, you know, just like a kid. And then it was always like Josh Davey. He would mostly hang out, and then Danny Miller and Riley Sullivan, and it was pretty much us four that would like, you know, hang back or whatever, but everybody else was out ripping it, or you know, just having fun and going wild, playing paintball, and I don't know, you know, that was just the time. It was just how it was back then.
It was. I mean, think about where we went Mardi Gras, Vegas, like all the, you know, Florida. Excuse me, Florida. We used to be on Halloween.
Yeah,
they would do it Halloween weekend.
That's right.
And it would land like on the weekend where you gain an extra hour. So. Yeah. Whoever made it to Sunday, it was brutal for them because they spent an extra hour out that night, and then they had to go play paintball the next day, and try to win a World Cup. Like, it was a different time. It was a different time altogether. But no, I mean, playing for the Ironmen it was awesome because it was. By that point, I kind of had figured out paintball. Like I said, you know, the year before when we'd done it, I didn't know these teams. I didn't realize beating Dynasty was that big of a deal. They were going to go on to be awesome. You know, I didn't realize who the Ironmen were. It wasn't until the next year when I played a season of 10-man and I'm out there grinding. And I remember our very first, this is cool because so the next year I go pro. My very first 10-man game as Cartel, we play Ironmen down at SC Village, and in approximately 45 seconds, it's me on like 10. Yeah. I took Snake off the break. I look back and like everybody's dead. And I was like, oh, this is how it's done at the pro level. Like, I got one guy coming through, and I think they won 9 live. You know, it was pretty brutal. But that was the event that Oliver became Oliver. He did that run through to the middle. He did the run through to the middle, fall down, get back up, shoot everybody at SC Village. That was when. I mean, obviously Oliver was already good, but like, I mean, I feel like that was his pow. You know, when we talk about like, you know, that spark that was his there, you know, so that was that event. But I played them earlier in the event, and it
interesting.
Was not good.
Yeah.
It was a shellac.
Dude, they know how to play. They know how to ball.
How funny is it that in that movie fell down, you know, gets up and goes and so it's like a clumsy move, but because he had the bravery to try to attempt to pull something off, it like set his career in motion.
That's it, right? Because you know, I love this, and I'm gonna break off this because I've been using this analogy a lot, not about Oliver, but about doing something that no one else is doing, believing that you can do it, and just doing it, right? Not believing what the world tells you can't do that, right? You can't do that. You can't accomplish that. That's not possible. He just went. He just went, right? Back then, people didn't run through shooting a bunch of people like that. People did run people down, but not like what you see in there, right? Like he just did it, So I've been preaching that a lot because I got a lot of. We're talking about impact, the field's growing like crazy. I got like 12 teams. I'm working with a lot of younger kids. My kids are out there now, and people say things. I'm like, no, man, they can do whatever they want. Don't tell them that. Like if they come up with something we haven't done yet, let them do it. Because there's going to be something we haven't even thought of that they're going to be able to do, and they're going to do it because they're not thinking they can't do it, right? I mean, because if you just go do, literally, we are limitless, and I truly believe that. You can do anything. It's the world, it's the people around you. It's the, I didn't do it, so you're not going to be able to do it, people that destroy these younger generations from just blowing our minds of what could be done. But Oliver did it, right? He did it. He got up and did something that people didn't do. Now we all do it. Everyone runs down the field running and shooting and trying to take as many as they can. And you can do it like regular because we all do it. But someone has to do it. Someone has to do it first, right?
Let's start levitating.
Go ahead.
Levitation paintball.
Bro.
That's the next level.
Yes. Let's go. Let's go, baby. In the finals of the Young Guns event we had at my tournament, Keith's in the finals with his sister, and I won't break down the whole tournament because we talked about that for a while. But they had lost 1 point. It's the only point they had lost of the event. And Keith, you could tell, he's like me. He has that walk on his toes. Like, he's not happy, right? And we load everybody up because this is how we were running the event. We load up all the loaders and fill them all up so they have the even amount of paint to play each other. Keith's like, yo, I don't need any paint. I'm like, okay. She stomps out of the pits, rolls down to the other end. I'm like, oh, these guys are in trouble. I'm thinking, oh, shoot, like this kid's not happy. On Friday, I had been doing drills with them. So we'd be starting like, a typical drill. You start in a corner or something and you snap high right, low left. And I have these targets that are set like in three. So you can call out colors and stuff. And then slide into the God, come up, shoot across, then you run across the snake running and shooting. So it was a mobility drill and an accuracy drill. So he was doing this with me. So we'd been doing it on the field. We get to the finals. He's in there. He goes to the God bunker, which you guys want to talk about changing at some point. And they're gunfighting, right? They're gunfighting. And you just see Keith just like, I'm watching him, I'm filming, and he just says no, runs to the snake, just leaves the bunker. Boom, Gog's in person. God, on the run to the snake. The whole sidelines erupts, right? This place. Yeah. Because they're all adults. They're like, I can't do this. I'm like, no, you can do this. You're just not doing it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I love it. Your son is going to be amazing because you guys are hardwiring him with all the good stuff. And yeah, we were talking about the God bunker just for branding purposes. We want to provide the best package we possibly imaginably can provide for paintball. And if we have people out there screaming, kill God, it just doesn't work. I don't think so. That's the only reason that we want to change that. Just like
Tyler and
if
I were in 7-Eleven. He stays at my house for practice. We're in 7-Eleven before World Cup, and we're in line, full line, 7-Eleven. And Tyler's like, hey, I think the God's really shootable from this. And I just see everyone's eyes around us go, what? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. That's an issue.
Yeah.
That's an issue. Interesting.
Yes. That's an issue.
Well, so for listeners, the reason it became the God bunker because it's such an important bunker.
Yes,
that's right.
The snakes used to be epic.
Of course.
Epic. So we called it the God bunker because we wanted to trap
the God bunker originated. The God bunker originated in the woods, though. It was it was the biggest bunker on this 50-yard line in one of these big woods tournaments. That's like where it originated. So the origination is like
spots.
Right. Yeah. But absolutely. When you use and so imagine like we have high profile people from different companies that say they're scouting and they're coming to an event and they come to an event and they hear us on the field, kill the God, like they're going to go, you can't say that's not okay. You can't say that. That is so. And look, I'm not somebody who thinks we need to dance around political agendas and have this like,
It's about packaging. We just want to give the best package possible.
I'm not over here trying to virtue signal and like, not say certain, but I will say that with how liberal I am with my own personal speech, like you should be able to say whatever you want. So I think freedom of speech is a big thing. Saying kill the god is probably not that tasteful. Like it's probably not
in that light, right?
It's probably not that tasteful. And it's probably enough. And people don't know. You don't know. And it's probably enough to turn off some very big companies. Some very big companies that might be interested in paintball. They come and they hear us communicating on the field, kill the god, or like kill the China is another one. Like we call a big bunker, a very important bunker in the center of the field is called China, kill the China. That's probably not a good, it's probably not good. Honestly, we should probably really consider changing that. Well, and actually, it would need to come from the league. The league, so I know the league does this in NFL, NBA, any sport. The league gives a list of approved vernacular that can be used for teams, for codes. And maybe that's something they should consider. Because again, somebody from a company that is here to scout paintball and say, hey, is this marketable to us? Can we sponsor this sport? Is it going to make us money? Those are some things that are pretty big. They're pretty big. It's pretty big.
And it's very easy to change. And it's all about packaging the product the best that we possibly can. We have a product, right? We have a product. We're trying to sell the product. We're trying to move the product. We need to package this product like Hormesis paintball products or like HK paintball products. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be packaging this thing with precision if we're gonna move this product. So little details do matter, and I think that it does hold water. And you're right. The big dogs, the big leagues, the big sports, they do have vernacular that is approved and isn't approved. And if you use certain vernacular, then there are consequences to that. It's like when we're packaging this and we have to have this product in the world, we want to make sure it's doing the best that it possibly can. So that's what it comes down to essentially,
I like it. I'm on board. I think it's good. I mean, I would also, with that being said, it'd be great for us to be able to have more of, we're talking about throwing a package out there. If we had more of the vocabulary that's going on, so when people are watching, they could actually hear a lot of what we're doing. So it doesn't just see and they don't really know what that means. Like they can understand that we're out there playing chess, right? Like we're not just firing a paintball gun randomly and someone walks off the field. So I mean, part of doing what we do is we do need to make it more acceptable for all in what we do and what we say, but also more understandable. So
it drives me nuts that we do not have a microphone. All you need to do is give one player on each team or two so that we have one out there at a time. If the player comes off, we want to have a mic on somebody at all times. You just need one guy with the microphone out there, just like a quarterback, so that we can have some idea of what is going on. The most important aspect of paintball is communication, hands down. It's what ties everything together. It's the only way I know what to do, when to move, when to snap, when not to snap, is through the vocabulary. So if you don't add that one microphone on each team out there, you are missing the whole gambit. You're missing the whole thing.
Right. No,
it drives me crazy. Yeah. It's not hard either. It's so easy. Throw a microphone on somebody and then tap into that, guys, so we can hear what he's saying.
All right. A thought for you. The microphones they currently have, a lot of times they fall off. People dive on them. People are rotating out. We have these companies make these bunkers for us. They can do all kinds of things. I have bunkers at home that have pockets that I can put lights and stuff in. What if you just put microphones in the key bunkers so they were always playing, so we could pick up multiple things and we just decided which ones we wanted to listen to? Or if we're doing an after thing, we just rip it. I mean, it's not, I don't feel like it's rocket science. You just tell Soup Air, hey, we want pockets on these bunkers.
Dude, that's a huge code right there. Wow, I like that. Yeah, microphones in the bunker. Let's try that out.
They would just be on just the key bunkers, your start stations, your home bunkers, so you would still miss some of it, but you could pull into it. Now, playing that live would be hard because which ones you're going to choose to go with? Obviously, the home bunker would get used a lot more. But if someone slides into,
I finally get some shine.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, there we go. Marcelo hasn't shut up the whole time. I think he's reading the alphabet.
I think he's reading the alphabet.
Yeah, I like it, dude. I really like that idea.
Come
Right?
on,
You know,
bro.
I
Why you
mean,
gotta do me like that?
he's named
Dude.
off 17 countries and 14 states. I don't even think there's that many bumpers. I think he's hungry. He said apple and orange, like
apple and orange. Apple and
Yeah.
orange, double down. All right, buddy. That's enough. That's enough. All right. This is our show. That's
Sorry,
enough.
sorry. All right.
Dude, I really like where we're going here, though.
Yeah.
This is good.
I do too. Yeah, because you're right.
Yeah.
Like it should be pretty easy for them to make a little pocket for the pro field.
No, I'm telling you, I could show you my zombie bunkers I have.
Mm.
I have a pocket in, and I put in a light, and I click it, and it makes them glow and do different things. You just have the same pocket, but you need to put like some kind of seal
Sure.
on it if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
raining.
yeah,
I
yeah,
understand.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so it would have to be a little more advanced, but we're not talking rocket science.
Hold on.
Yeah.
A zombie bunker? What's that?
Bro, I know I got a zombie business. Come on.
Oh, that's rad.
I take down zombies in Halloween, bro. That's what I am. We got zombie wrecking.
Yeah,
crews.
baby.
One of my things. We light up the world with glow in the dark paintballs, taking out
Heck
zombies.
yeah. You're
it's
preparing.
fun.
You're already ready.
Yeah, you bring a
Bro, you
lot of
should
people
see
into
my
the sport
box.
that way.
A ton, right? So our target market is people that don't want to play paintball, just like people that are looking to do Halloween things, and then they play it and they're like, "Wow, that's really cool." In fact, to speak for it, I had a party here this last weekend, a low impact party, and I hear the mom could tell the other kids that are coming in, "Oh, we came and did their zombie thing in October. That's why we're out here playing paintball." I'm like, "Oh,
Awesome.
yeah, baby, let's go."
That's
so a bunch of
smart.
little kids are out there playing low impact. Yeah, every field should do something with. Something
Oh.
it doesn't have to be zombie, but a shoot that doesn't involve people being shot, because then they're like, "Oh, I'll go try that." Like, listen,
Yeah.
we're all sadistic. People like shooting things and be like giggling that they're hurting and not getting shot. I mean,
Well,
let's
it's
just be
like-
real. So you
it's
just
like,
provide that for them, and then they might want to try it.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you think about it, we're hunter gatherers. That's what people are, and there is like an innate sense for the kind of chess match and the cat and mouse game. Even as kids, we play that whole hide and seek or tag and the whole that's kind of like hardwired into us. But I think that's such a great idea. And also, I got to tell you, we've been working with Gel Blaster, the electronic gel blasters that charge with the electronically charged. Those things are amazing. I've been playing with Theo, and he's like hardwired now to play paintball off of that.
Loves it. So we have the other brand. We saw them at World Cup. It's Jelly Ball at the field. We ordered a set of those.
Awesome.
We haven't run a ton of parties, but we're running they're not as cool as the gel blasters when it comes to all like the homemade stuff. You're buying one at home, if you're listening to this. I mean, I know we bought the Jelly Ball. The gel blasters are cooler for like your home set. So Gel Blaster, if you want to send me some for me and Zeki, that's cool.
But
the Jelly Ball ones are
I got
the Jelly
you.
Balls are cool for that. Okay, send me some, because the Jelly Ball ones are cool, but they're the rental version. Really, truly, they're a rental version.
Dude, the Gel Blaster is shooting 15 balls a second, bro. Just it's
750 balls it holds, dude.
Yeah,
750, dude.
I'm sorry, knows about this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, I run parties with them. They're great. They're great. I saw it at World Cup. I was like, yes, we're getting like, that 4 to 8 year olds in. No, this is how cool it is, right? So how old's your boy now?
He's 5, my oldest.
5. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So London's 3, Zeki's 4, right?
Yeah.
If I let them, they would come to the field and play Jelly Ball every day.
Absolutely.
Like, I just do it. Now she's more like, doesn't know what she's doing. She'd be like, "Dad, I can't hit their targets." And I'll like, we're going nuts. Like she gets them. But Zeki, you give him that, he's chasing you down for the next.
Yeah.
Like, they have that energy you just want to harness. Like,
oh yeah,
all about that action. It's really cool. I mean, good for them too. What a great invention that doesn't really cost them anything in the grand scheme of it, and it allows us to get a younger age group, right? So now we have 4 to 8 year olds we can get in, and we have low impact is like that 7 to some people do it older, but I really that 7 to 11 market is what I kind of push for. And then we have traditional paintball. Like, we're at an awesome time in paintball. We're talking about COVID. People need to get outside, and having a huge age group that people can just get out and shoot at each other and run around. It's really cool.
Totally. All fields, I highly suggest implementing that into, and they're pretty cost effective. They're not going to break the bank to get those, shooting the jellies out there, and you're going to get a great return long term, long scale, because those kids are going to grow up. They're going to fall in love with that kind of style, and they're going to keep coming back and having fun out there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we got to get into excessive, obviously, right? So
yeah, we haven't even touched on it. We got so much to go, bro.
I was literally about to say
Yeah.
exactly that.
We got to get into excessive.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Dude, bring us into how that all came to be, and then like walk us through that journey year by year, you know, duking it out, and just like the epic stories. That is just unreal what was going on at that time.
Yeah. So we do our year of Ironmen.
Mm-hmm.
It's an up and down year. Micah and Dave have a falling out at World Cup, Dave Youngblood. And so we find out Micah's not going to be on the team. Micah, being the dude he is like, okay, well, I'm going to go create another team. And if you remember, at that time, we were playing the NXL. We weren't allowed to do anything else. Like, we signed these crazy contracts. I wasn't allowed, like, they owned my likeness. They owned everything about me. So I could only play NXL. We were only allowed to play 4 or 5 events, whatever it was for the year, 5 events, I think. We couldn't go to Europe. We couldn't do anything. And so Micah starts reaching out there and doing his thing. Says, Rich, hey, if I can do this, you want to be involved? Rich is like, you know what? We've been friends for a long time. It'd be hard for me to leave the Ironman, but let's see what you got. So they start kind of working together. Next thing you know, they bring in that excess energy drink. There was a team, you know, I think Danny Miller played on that original team, whatever it was called before.
How did you guys get out of that contract? Like, what happened there?
So by leaving the team, if you could walk away from everything.
Okay.
But if you couldn't go back, right?
Gotcha.
So if you walked away, you were done.
I see.
Hold on,
That was very for the listeners, very nice of you to mute yourself while you sneezed. That's really appropriate.
That was the first. That's the first ever on the show.
Very COVID friendly. Good job.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking for like 2 hours. I'm getting a little caught in throat.
Get this man a water.
So he starts doing it all, and the balls start rolling. Pieces start falling into place. Severe jumps on board. Excess energy jumps on board. Sin jumps on board. People start jumping on board. So, okay, well, we have some good cash. So then everybody just like starts shifting over. I had a pretty good season building up, and I had some teams trying to, Ironmen are falling apart, grab me. So all Americans are flying me out, and Yosh decided if we were going to leave, he was going to go to Dynasty. We talked a little bit, you know, so I didn't know for sure what I was going to do, but
interesting.
I wanted to be loyal to Rich, right? I mean, the dude just beat the piss out of me for a year, and, you know, I felt like, you know, because even though Oliver was there in the beginning, he was off of Dynasty, right? He was there at the practices when they were creating the new team, but he went to Dynasty the year before, and then Yosh went, right? So I never actually got to play with Oliver. Like, he left when I came on. So anyways, we created the team was being created, and I decided, well, you know, I want to stick it out with the guys, and then it was on, because then we had money coming in. So then we had people calling us, you know, and that's when Nikki Cuba came on. Davey wanted to come back. I'm trying to think of, we picked up Shane Harrison. There was a bunch of people wanting to come. I think the only person that stayed on the Ironman was JP. And throughout the year, at some point, we had picked up Zizek, and you guys probably remember Zizek, right?
Of course, yeah. Of course.
So we picked up Zizek. So those guys stayed, but everybody else left, right? We all went and we created Excessive, and it was one of those things. Our pitch was, we wanted to. It's kind of like Dynasty's doing now. We wanted to be us. We wanted to create our own products. We wanted to be, you know, the next Die at the time, I guess you'd see. Like, we're gonna leave and create a company, and and we wanted to go win. Like, no offense to the Dynasty guys, but they'd spent the year before winning a bazillion tournaments, and the whole world talked about them, but there was no pro players to play against, right? We were all stuck in the NXL, so we were like, yo, these dudes are winning 5 bazillion tournaments, getting paid mad money. We're getting promised all the stuff from the NXL. We're not getting anything. Like, nothing was coming to fruition. We weren't actually getting paid, you know, like no money came, no TV deals came. So all the stuff we were being promised. So that kind of led us to be like, also when Micah was like, hey, we can do something else. We're like, yo, so we can get out and, like, actually, like, try to go win some events. You know, we knew we'd have to beat Dynasty, but we're looking at the rest of the competition thinking, well, we could slide right up to the top pretty quick. I think, you know, like, we're gonna have to fight this guy. You know, like,
we can at least be in the finals.
Hey, right. I mean, let's be real, you know. You know, I mean, and So we went full in, and we started creating all the products, and we started training, and we had like, dude, I think we had like a 2 million paintball sponsorship. So we had a skid a weekend. We practiced every single weekend. We immediately said we're doing the NXLs, the MPPLs. We're playing Europe. And
but
it was,
in the NXL, you guys weren't in the, quote unquote pro division. It was like D1, which was, a lot of people argued, you had the Russians, you had Naughty Dogs, you had Dynasty, and right?
And us. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were open.
So it was like it was like division. That was the pro division for like at least a solid year. It was like everyone knew, okay, this is where the best players are.
So that year, at the end of that first year, remember, if you guys were at that, you guys were both at that one. So there was the pro finals, which was with all the fields, and then we played the open field. It was like, when you drove into Kissimmee, right, into the sports park, and there's the one field off to the side that didn't even touch any other fields. They shoved us on that field. No stands or nothing. The crowd for our finals against Dynasty was, you could not see the other side of it. Like, everybody just left the NXL, went over to the open fild, and they're like standing on cars. I mean, it was a different time.
I was there,
but I mean,
I was watching that.
Right. Yeah, it was wild, right? But yeah, so we just came in, and we came in hard to the paint. I mean, we were like, we were going to win, and we want to win year one. I mean, it didn't quite go like that, but by year two, we were winning, right? And dude, once again, we go back to this work ethic, and we're going to talk about this, I guess, for all freaking how many ever hours we talk. But we grinded every weekend. We shot 120 cases every weekend. If not, we were playing a tournament. That year, Neil and I played we flew out to a few like other random events. We played, what was it? Was it the XPSL or the Pan Am at that point? Tyler, do you remember?
That would have been
XPSL.
I think so.
Pan Am was first, so it turned into XPSL. So whatever that would be.
Hey, I got to play an original Pan Am back in '96, boys.
There we go.
Yeah, boy, in the woods.
Let's go.
But so we were playing the XPSL. So I mean, experience-wise, for me, it was really important, and I think for Neil too, because we had only played 1 year pro. We only got to play 5 events. The next year, I think we played 22, 23 events. I mean, so we got, plus we're shooting a skid a weekend, and I think that's really when I felt like, okay, I can bang with anybody in the world. Like, let's go. Like, there's, at this point, I mean, for my personal career, I'd played, and we're talking in 4 years now, I had put in over 100 events. I had 1 year where we played 5, but I would played a ridiculous amount of events. So what if you're listening to this, what you're missing is, if you first have to create the good habits and the skill sets that we talk about, right? And make sure you have the good foundation, but then you need experience, because if you want to get past D3, now there's 84 divisions, and actually be competitive, you can't just be an individual great paintball player. You have to see the field going on around you. We're out there playing chess. You're on offense, you're on defense, you're on defense, you're on offense, you're on offense, you're on defense. Your up bodies, your down bodies, the time and the clock, what's the score? There's so many things going on, and it's happening at lightning speed. So play every event you can. Every event, 3-man, 5-man, 7-man, mechanical. I don't care what's in your area. Play events, because that will help you to achieve your goals, guaranteed.
I love that.
So we went and we just banged, dude. And then we came out with all our own products. We started selling we would drop 3,000 pants, sell them in a month, dude. Just nice. I'm not even kidding, dude. We were going, and then this kind of also sort of what ended up killing Excessive. Everybody wanted to be a part of it, so we started simulating a lot of players. So we went from like 10 players to 15 players to 30 players. Then we had to create energy, because we had too many players. Let's be real. We sucked up like almost all of Cap Factory. But in that time, there was also that bubble where we hit, where, our roster and Dynasty's rosters were matched talent-wise, and that's when, I'll never forget, we were in Miami. No, sorry. No, it wasn't Miami. It was.
You forgot.
No, I remember the tournament, but I can't remember the location. It might have. But I remember the setting, because we're in that parking lot there at that stadium. I'll get it. But we went into the finals, and we had
Raymond James. No,
was that the one? Where was that one at?
Raymond James.
Tampa,
that was in Tampa
Bay.
Yeah, maybe
that was it. maybe there was, we were at one of the stadiums there, and we didn't have a great prelims, but we hit the finals and something clicked. We played that first game and we were going back and forth, and then we pull out a gritty right at the end. I think there's like 2 or 3 of us alive, and I'm running in to hang that flag, and I see Alex there, and I'm like, this is it, bro. I just knew, like, like, finally we're gonna beat these guys. I'm like, one more, baby. And he's like, no. I'm like, it's happening.
Alex,
right now.
Alex Frazier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told him, I said, this is happening right now. This is it. Like, I knew. And then the next point, we sent me to a bunker that no one had gone to. So, like, you couldn't go, it was on concrete, you had to go uphill. And normally I was playing snakes. So we sent me to the Dorito corner, and I made it. When I got in there, dude, it was over. I already knew it was over because no one was wide on that side of the field. And that was the first time we won. We ended up beating that point. We won 2 in a row. And then we went on to beat them at the NXL and then Europe. So we beat them.
Why do I feel like this was Denver?
It is Denver. Thank you.
It is, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it was
okay.
Denver. The cement parking lot. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Except I remember when you guys beat them. Okay. Denver.
Was that the same tournament that I won the 1-on-1 against Isaac?
No, because you did that to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Different year.
Okay.
No, that was
a different year.
That wasn't the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Wow.
But yeah, so then we went on and we went and beat them at the NXL, and then we went to Europe and we beat them there too. So we beat them 3 events in a row, which that just kind of set it. Just boom, boom, boom. And then and then I don't think we met.
Do you know what years these were? I'm kind of forgetting.
So this would have been,
I think Oliver was on Ironmen
2006.
Yes. Okay. So Dynasty got a little weakened.
Yep.
Fucking, Oliver went to the Ironman.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. Gotcha. They still were the top dogs in the NPPL. That was like Dynasty reigned supreme in the NPPL from the inception of the league until the end. Excessive came and like lit their candle a few times. But other than that, it was a Dynasty show.
Hey, I got my couple Huntington Beaches. I got my couple world championships. Totally. I won my few titles. They got the bulk of it.
If you have a Huntington Beach win, that's so huge because there was just you could count them on a hand, And Oakland Blast, we won a Huntington Beach 1 year, so we got one of those.
You and Dog, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I have a D3 aftermath win with in Huntington Beach, but that's it. I don't have
that tournament is so crazy. I wish that they would just do one more.
I know. Honestly, the only thing comparable to winning that is a World Cup because just the sheer amount of bodies, the energy, the flow. Like both times we won it, I'll never forget. Just boom, it feels like the ground shaking. You look up, there's people on the walkway, right on the pier, just screaming. Like there's just people everywhere, and you're like, because winning's always surreal, but that one's just surreal. That's a crazy win. But yeah, man. So we took that. We won a bunch of, I don't know how many events we won there. We won a lot of events that year. I think we won.
Thomas, real quick.
Yeah.
Going into the build up to take down Dynasty in the NPPL at the height of paintball in many people's eyes, right? Like these are battles that are truly considered, and if they're not, these people don't know what they're talking about. The golden era, the golden matches, the most like iconic games in paintball history went down in some of the games you played in against Dynasty in the finals, in Huntington Beach, in these NPPL events, in these big time tournaments. What was your mindset? Because again, this is when you were making a name for yourself. You were in the process of that. So like, what was your training like, your mindset like to take these guys down? Let's talk about that.
It's funny because yesterday I threw on some the CK2 for the kids, and in that they did like the Heroes for a Day trailer, right? And first time my kids got to watch it, and it brought back a lot of those memories last night. I knew we were gonna be talking today, so I was like, the kids have never seen this. Let me show them this because we're gonna be talking about history, right?
Awesome.
there's a part of Heroes for a Day where Rich is being interviewed, I'm pretty sure. And he's saying, like, we created this team to take down Dynasty. That was our goal. You know, I want to be real. I don't ever remember that being in the contract or a conversation we ever had about creating Excess. It was a good speech to get us hyped up, right? Because they spent a year and a half almost, you know, beating us anytime we played, right? But to prepare for that, well, there's so many levels of the game, right? So it's the mental game, it's the physical game, it's the skill sets. But creating a team is where we struggled in the beginning, right? To understand the battle. Like, this wasn't just knocking off. I mean, I don't know, pick a pro team now. This, you know, we go to an event next year. I mean, 4 different teams won events last year, right? I mean, so it wasn't just going and winning event. This was
only two last year.
Oh yeah. Well, the year before. It's been sporadic for the last few years. What I'm getting at, right? There's no one's dominating the league anymore, right? But those battles at first, the first couple events, to me, I mean, playing Dynasty was just playing any other team, but people made this build up. And for those of you listening, I don't know that you'll ever be able to wrap your minds around. Go watch Heroes for a Day is probably the best thing I can tell you, because there's so many times you can see the sheer size and energy and epicness of paintball. It was a different animal.
It was.
So this pressure starts crushing in on us, right? The media, the sponsors, the people, they created this hype that we were there to create to take down Dynasty. So now you're trying to live up to that, right? Like, oh, well, I didn't know that's what we were doing. Rich is giving speeches. That's why I created this team. Okay, well, I guess I thought we just created it to just win. But yeah, they're the team we have to beat to win. So all right, cool. Like, you know, it wasn't the set out goal. So I want to set the record straight. But the energy,
hold on though, how could it not be? How could it not be? Because you knew in order to win, that was the team you had to beat in that league. Like, as a competitor, and I know you.
Well, in all leagues, right? But we didn't know how good Dynasty would be or not be. Once again, there wasn't a lot of pro teams at the time playing the MPPL level leagues. 2, when we started creating the team, it was just about creating a team where we could go play events and win. It wasn't focused in on we're going to go beat Dynasty. It wasn't focused on we're going to go have to battle the Russians at.
Story's pretty cooler that you were built to take down Dynasty, and then you did.
You're right. But what I'm saying is, we didn't get together, leave the Ironmen, hey, let's go build a team and beat Dynasty. We created a team to go win, but to do that, you had to beat Dynasty. Right? And that mounting pressure, them going out. We talk about confidence. The reason they kept winning is they just knew they were going to win. They were that confident. They just won like 20 events. So then this epic battle created, and it was no longer just out there like in a thought. Yes, our goal now was we need to beat Dynasty. It doesn't matter if we win an event and they're not there. We need to beat them. We didn't want Dynasty to lose in the semifinals. No, we want to beat them in the finals. We want to meet them in the semifinals. We want to knock them off. We want to take 4th. You're not even coming to the finals with us. So then that's the story. So when you hear Rich saying it, that's the time of paintball we're in. So it's not that he wasn't saying it's true. We started with the original roster. By the time we were beating him, we were at a different roster. That roster was created to beat Dynasty. Is that fair, Marcel?
Yes, absolutely. It is. Yes,
okay,
totally.
So we started off with roster A. We beat them with roster B.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
You know, so that was created, and that like I said, the only thing I can relate it to is real professional sports. Not to say ours isn't real, but ours isn't as big. And back then, it was that big. It was massive, and it was mighty, and there was tons of money in paintball, and there was so many things. The mental game was unreal. I remember walking in the field, and Ryan would always be smiling and be like, if he would just stop smiling, like it would get to me, right? Like, and you know, after you've known him for 20 years, he just always smiles. He's like me. We just smile. I mean, you could be mad and you're still gonna smile. Like he's just awesome like that. But those were the things. That's how heated. That's how much energy is involved. Just the way someone looked. You're like, I am going to wipe that smile off your face.
It was highly competitively driven at that time, and it still is today. But you're right. The the industry was thriving. It was just huge. It was crazy.
You couldn't leave if you like say you wanted to leave your field, the pro pits, to go get a squeegee, a water. I don't know. Think you need to go to a booth. Like for me, I would have to take off my jersey, throw on a hoodie, put on glasses, and I would run.
Yeah.
Because if you would never make it there and back without being stopped 500 times. So many posters, pictures, autographs. I mean, people bought my socks, dude.
Yeah.
Dirty socks. They would take your underwear off you if you would let them. It was madness. It was sheer chaos.
Yeah.
Do you remember, Thomas? And actually, this was that time. You and I had a conversation. I was a kid. I just turned pros. It was 2006, I believe. We were either in Orange County or San Diego. I forget which event it was. I was playing with the Ironmen. Yeah, tournament.
Okay.
NPBL. Okay. I was playing with the Ironmen second team, so we were playing as Nexus.
Okay.
We didn't make it. We were done, and it was like we were at the field, and you pulled me aside and had a conversation with me. Do you remember this at all?
Not ringing bells. I'm really sorry. I'm an honest person.
No. Honestly, I'm glad it doesn't in a way. Like you're gonna appreciate this, I think, then, because it stuck with me for so long, and I've actually always held you in a really high regard because of this.
Wow.
But you had pulled me aside,
nice.
And we had this conversation. 'Cause I was a kid. I was 16 years old, and you shared your admiration for how I played that event. And you gave me guidance on how to accept losing and working hard and building off of it. And basically, let me know that you thought I had a bright future. You instilled a shit ton of confidence in me at that moment. And it was, again, this is when you're Mohawk, fucking excessive days, ripping it. You're one of the best players. Yeah. I'm like, this is Thomas Taylor talking to me, taking time to talk to me as a kid that just turned pro, and like offering me advice and wisdom, and also showing that he appreciates what I'm doing.
Says a lot about this man.
You don't remember this?
Well, he does it so often. It's just it's in his nature.
I don't. You're making me a little teary-eyed because I'm old, and that's what I do. I'm emotional.
Yeah.
Thomas, I get it because sorry. I know you're about to say something, but I get it because I've had kids that now are pro that kind of say similar things, but it was genuine, right? And I'm sure you had a million things going on at that time, but I will never forget it. You like had a conversation with me after our event was over that really kept me motivated and was like, okay, I'm on the right path. I need to keep busting my ass. Like, this is, Thomas Taylor had this, he believes in me right now. He's given me a lot different team, different organization, and you said some very motivating words to me. And again, I will remember that forever. I've told this story before, but I think this obviously it's the first time you've heard it,
Bro. Well, I remember Nexus. I remember your path. I don't remember the exact conversation, but nothing's changed, bro. I believed in you always. So, and
you live with
massive things with your career, and I'm glad that it stuck with you, because that means a lot to me. I mean, you guys have been with me for a lot of years.
Words are important, man, and like the things you say to people matter, and that's something that's again something that I've always taken into my career is you never know. Like you take 5 minutes out of your day to talk to somebody, you never know what it's going to do to them. Like that little conversation stuck with me for a long time. It was something that gave me confidence at a young age of like, man, this okay, I belong here. You know what I mean? I belong here. It's not a joke. I belong here.
Well, dude,
and he lives with a big heart. I mean, this. Thomas, you got one of the biggest hearts in paintball, dude.
You done fucked up though, because I beat you a couple times in these tournaments. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but you know what? I'll take all those losses if I can make a difference in someone's life.
So true, man. I'm with you. So true.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Truly.
That's what it's all about.
Wow, man. It'll make me all emotional here. That's awesome.
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't think you when we were getting ready for the show, I was like, man, I wonder if he remembers that conversation we had, because it was you have these moments coming up, and there's few people that like really leave an impact, and I'll never forget that time at an event, cutting my teeth just turning pro, having that conversation with you. Like that was a memorable time in my early career that was like, okay, yeah, like I belong, you know, I belong. Just keep busting my ass, keep working hard. I belong. I could take these dudes. I could hang with them, you know. Yeah.
I did. And
Yeah.
you did, you
Yeah.
have, and you continue to, my friend.
I appreciate that.
Amen.
Yeah,
Dude,
absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah. And
Love it.
words, I mean, words are everything. They create the universe around you. They create how you perceive reality, and they are a clear projection of where you're headed in life. So
Yeah,
if you can have, like, take that time, you know, I know all of us sitting here do, to connect with your community, connect with the little guy or girl who might be having a tough time, or, you know, maybe you see that you can help them in some way. Like, let's give back. That's the real gifts of paintball, is that we can nurture the future. We can give back and make sure that not only we have tons of paintball players, but we have a great community. Isn't that what life's about? We need community. And I think paintball is one of the, I mean, that's one of the most amazing things that this game has given all of us, is just this beautiful community that we're a part of.
Hey man, paintball's like a huge family. I mean, you get involved and you start carrying on others, and it just grows. It's really really phenomenal. I mean, think about it. We have people that care about us around the world, right? And that we care about, and that we reach out. Like, if all the blessings, if I could take all my blessings over all these years, you know, having people constantly reaching out and asking for prayer or thoughts or encouragement or advice, and I'm like, I don't know why you want my advice. I don't know why, but the fact that you're asking, I'll do that. And that, you know, we're talking from almost all countries and you know, major continents, right? Like we have the ability to influence people, and that to me has been the greatest reward. Beating Dynasty was awesome. Taking down the dragon was great. You know, tournaments, championships I've won over the years, but I would never have thought that the good Lord would put me in a position to be a light to so many people, not like in a little town, but around this globe, which, you know, over our years it's really shrunk to be. It's so much smaller than we think it is. You know, I mean, we're all so connected, right? It's really amazing. And, you know, Marcelo being able to tell me about this, you know, that, you know, not that I remembered, I'm sorry, I can't pull back from the memory, but
we're good.
that no, but I mean, that really truly, that means more to me than anything. I mean, that made a difference in your life, right? That's something that, you know, helped you along your way, and that even in my old brain, as it gets forgetful, is still
don't worry, I'll remind you of it every time we play each other.
You told me. Yes, I did. Maybe I should have toned it down. I gave him a 10 level speech. I should have given a 7.
And
hey kid, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right, kid.
best believe you're getting called Ting Tong from here on out too, buddy.
Ting Tong.
I've got
Ting Tong's not in the God. Ting Tong is not in the God.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. So Thomas, being you, dude, you're one of the best snake players to ever play this game. There's a lot of people out there who want to know how you've been able to attain that level of success. What would be some advice that you could give people on, you know, obviously playing the snake side and just playing the game at the highest level?
Well, let's just start with playing the snake forever. I mean, when I first started, I didn't play the snake. There wasn't really snakes. I am just naturally aggressive. So you're going to know who you are real quick, right? You're going to have your type of personality. So if you're an aggressive person, don't try to be a back player. You know, wait until time starts catching up to you to be a back player or a mid player. Use that aggression. But you have to train your mind. If you're going to be a front player, you can't be all muscle and wheels, right? So making sure that you are very, very sharp. You know, I think of myself as a fairly smart person, and not because God gave it to me, because I study and I study and I study and I work and I study myself. I study my opponents, you know. So you ask the other part of your question is, you know, not about my body, but how I can still play at the highest level and do this is because I am constantly working to evolve with the game. I've never been satisfied with where I'm at. go back to the glory days. I wasn't satisfied there. I wanted more. So, I'm a firm believer that you're never standing still. You're either going forward or you're going back. So if you want to obtain, if you want to get to pro and stay pro, like getting on a team, cool, awesome. What are you going to do to better yourself now? You had a good first year. What are you going to do to better yourself there? So really, for me, it's constantly working. The reason that I can play a little bit of it too now is when I went to Heat and I had Fedorov and Chad, and you have all these other players. You're like, okay, well, they're younger. They're probably going to get more reps in the snake here. Okay, well, I'm going to work on my communication. I'm going to work my off the break shots. I'm going to do everything I can so that when they die, I'm going to slip in the snake and shoot everybody. So you have to continue to evolve your game, really, truly. And the last part of it is you have to take care of your body. Like, yes, I'm injured every single year. Get it, right? I'm probably the most injured player you've ever seen, right? But I play a really tough position. I play a really, really. Do you know anybody else that's played the snake in the pro level for 19 years? No, you don't, because it hasn't ever happened. It
Alex
may never
Frazier's
freaking
approaching
happen.
that. Come on,
Yeah,
come on, give the old egg man,
okay.
give the old busted egg
okay.
man a bone.
Eggs,
Toss him
I
a
love
bone.
you. Eggs, the two of us are the last two survivors. But I consistently have to do it with aggression, and my number is called a lot, right? So you gotta be willing to play through injuries and understanding what the difference between a hurt and an injury is, because there's a big difference. But taking care of your body, I didn't do it for a lot of years. I mean, there were some years, you go back and watch some of these videos and I'm all puffed up and I'm all muscly and I'm feeling great in a bathing suit, right? But it wasn't good for my paintball career. It wasn't until probably like 32 ish, that I was like, I'm going to focus on my diet, not as in diets don't work. People don't do that, as in eating healthy and, drinking lots of water and stretching and things that actually matter to keep yourself doing what we do. So my longevity, I think, comes, the biggest part of it is you think you said this, Tyler, is my heart is 100 times bigger than my body or my mind. I'm just going to be real with you. I mean, it's just you can't squash my heart. It's unsquashable. That is the one God. It's the one gift that God did give me. He didn't give me. I wasn't the most athletic. I'm not the most smart, but heart, it never ends. And
you're by far one of the grittiest, most passionate players out there, for sure. Yeah,
appreciate that. And so you want to play the snake. One, you need to start watching and learning others. Instantly, when I got the pro, in my off games, I went and watched people. I remember just sitting there and watching people on the sidelines.
Who were some
my favorite guy to watch? You want my favorite guy to watch starting
Angel.
X-ball. No, he wasn't there. Remember? So he was because he wasn't there. So
and real quick, Thomas, real quick.
Yeah.
For the listener, how old are you? You're 40.
40.
Yeah, 40.
Yeah, I'll be 41 in June.
Yeah. Dude, you get to play in the suite, what's
you already did Masters Division. You already did,
that's
bro.
awesome.
Dude, hey, listen, Tyler, listen to this, Marcel. Listen to this.
Dude.
On 10 man now, that they have the 10 man.
Yeah.
Do you know when you hit 40, you're worth 0 points?
Yes, I do know.
So like you could have a roster of 66,000 points. I could still play.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Totally cheat the system.
You're good.
Keep rocking.
100%. And same thing, Team USA overseas, like you're in the Masters Division. Dude, our Masters Division is about to be lit. Ryan's there. He's
right.
Like, so close. Like, dude, ain't nobody taking that squad down.
No, it's really bad. Yeah, really bad. Right. Yeah, so I'm 40, right? So
right. Okay. Yeah. So who are you?
It's
back to the question. Who were some people that you really studied and watched coming up?
So really, my first year of paintball, the guy that stood out to me most to me, and his head's gonna get even bigger, was Todd Martinez. Like the way he played the game. The way he attacked the bunkers, because that was the first year of NXL, so people didn't really know like how they were going to do it. Like, great gunfighter, always on his feet, always looking to move. Like, he was doing that, and I'm an aggressive guy anyway, so I was watching this guy, and I'm like, I don't know who this dude is. I mean, he's crazy off the field, but on the field, he rocked. I remember Mardi Gras. I watched every game they played. If I wasn't playing, I was just sitting there watching. Like, okay, he's doing this. That's how he's pushing that guy around. He's moving this guy around, right? So, after that year, when we got into our next year and we were playing, I would just watch, to be real, I would just sit and watch anybody that played the snake. So any pro teams, what were they doing? And it wasn't, for me, it wasn't necessarily like how they played it. It was like, I guess, how were they getting into their spots? What were they doing? What was making them successful? So I can't say I looked at any one individual and I said I want to mimic their style, because I felt my style was a little bit different than everybody else's. But if there was a single player that I spent real time watching, it was Todd Martinez. I mean,
Cash
my
Money.
first year of NX, yeah, Cash Money, dude. Like, I mean, that, he was getting it. Like, that dude was getting it. And I like to get it, right? So I'm like, okay, well, how's he doing it and being successful? Because, I went out there right off the bat, like, I can do that. Like, okay, I got shot. I didn't break out.
He's never stopped getting it. And
right?
we had a great conversation in Europe one time where I was like, bro, just his aura, right? The energy that he brings to an organization, to the field, to his teammates, to his family, to everything. He's just got the best aura of all time, just like glowing. He's got a glowing aura. Tizzle. Yeah. Cash Money. What about your diet, Thomas? What is your diet looking like these days? Are you doing any certain types of exercises, or just kind of, plyometric standard stuff, or what are you working with these days?
Okay, so everything I do is really sport specific. The last year, I've been working with Patty Gleason in his OTL. He has a lot of stuff, and he'll design me programs that are based around like what my needs are. But they're all real sport specific. It's not about, like I said, it's not about looking good in a mirror. It's about what I need when it comes to explosive speed, agility, things of that, endurance, things that I need, quick recovery. So that's really, and I've been focusing on that, honestly, probably a good 6 or 7 years. And the best way to describe it to you, if you're out there listening, because you don't know Patty Gleason OTL, like, his is a little bit different, but like I kind of switched over to what you would more like a circuit training is probably the easiest way if someone was going to Google something, like higher reps, lots of repetitions. I want to be nimble, I want to be flexible, I want to recover fast. And then working on explosive speeds, right? So having that, we got to have those fast twitch muscles. So that's really what my workout is. And then I do a fair amount of cardio, right? Because I want to be in the same shape I am 0.1 and 0.7 if need be.
Yeah.
Right. I want to be able to do that. Health wise, eating wise, really, it's just for me. I try to eat generally healthy. I could list off what that is, but just getting rid of processed foods. Processed foods is the killer. So at least 3 times a year, I'll take 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and I'll just cut out all processed foods, anything processed. So, which basically cuts out all sugars except for natural sugars from like, fruit or something. Right. So, and
give the body a nice little
amazing.
Reset. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's amazing. So I developed, that's when I tore my MCL, and through the rehab from that, I developed patella tendonitis, and they said it would never go away. Right. And it was excruciating. I couldn't deal on it without pain where your eyes want to water. While I was playing, I was fine, because we don't feel anything while we're playing. I mean, adrenaline kicks in and you're playing the game. But I couldn't crawl on the ground with my kids. I couldn't do anything. I started doing this, and that's all gone.
Yeah.
It's all gone. They told me it would never go away. They want to give you medicines and pills. I don't take nothing. I take turmeric, dog. Turmeric. That's my drug of choice.
Turmeric. Yeah.
Turmeric. That's what I said. Turmeric. Yeah. Turmeric. Yeah. Turmeric is. I just try to. You got to try to put in your body what's natural. I mean, and I know that sounds hard because there's a lot of stuff out there. I'm not saying I don't enjoy some chips. I'm not going to eat some pizza.
Of course.
But I just try to take long blocks of periods of times, and I just choose to eat healthier stuff. I like to cook my own food. I do a lot of barbecuing. Like, you can eat really good and not do it. So that's my main focus. I also love I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. Like probably 3 or 4 years ago, I started that Thrive stuff. And at first I started taking it, and then I was also selling it. I don't sell it anymore. I mean, technically I still do. I'm probably a promoter or something, but during, you have to sign up. You have to sign up to get in there, right? You have to sign up to get in there. Yeah. But I take it for me. So it's basically a bunch of vitamins. So I just, during training time and playing time, during that, say 4-week window for tournaments, I start every day just drinking one of those shakes. I'm light, I'm nimble, and I love it at events because I don't really have any food in my stomach, but I have all the vitamins I need. So that's one thing that I've changed probably in like the last 5 years. I do that probably like 6 months a year also. So just really putting in, don't go through drive-throughs. I know they're tempting, and
they're so good.
like, they're so good. And you can, build in cheat days and build in, whatever you do, just don't make it a lifestyle. I mean, listen, most things in moderation are cool. Problem is here in America, especially, we do healthy food in moderation, and you look at what that's causing: diabetes, health. You look at, Lord rest your soul, if you have someone or that passed away with COVID, or someone in your family, but you look at the obesity rate there, people got hospitalized. 78% of the people hospitalized with COVID were obese. Like, I mean, we don't take our health serious enough in this country. Like, we're too busy with these big corporations shoving their, commercials and their tasty fake foods in our faces, and it's hurting people, man. So, I know that's a lot to say. We're diving down a rabbit trail here, but how can I still do this? I'm turning 41 because my eyes are open to see that stuff. Like, you can't live your life doing that. You're not gonna make it to 90 doing that. You're not gonna be able to fight off infections doing that. And someone my age that's still playing the sport, getting beat up, I can't heal fast enough doing it. I just can't. Let's be real.
You're absolutely right, and it's crucial, man. Nutrition prior to events, during events, in the recovery process is everything. It's the fuel that gives your cells the nutrients to repair themselves and to charge into the future strong,
But it's also the fuel that can tear apart your cells. That's like the biggest.
Well, dude, listen to this.
You take.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. If you eat certain foods, it is. Yeah. It's not non-consequential.
That's right.
Damaging to your body.
Well, it's like what Thomas was saying. You're going one way or the other.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. You don't stand in the middle with this shit. You're either eating stuff that is nutritious and good for your body, or you're eating stuff that is damaging your cells, damaging your body. And it takes a long time. It's so funny. I used to be so gung-ho on like having these conversations with family and friends and, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Now it's just to the point like, look, if you learn long enough about food, you will finally realize that
you don't want to play with it.
It's so important, and you don't want to play with it. But I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you. You got to do your own research. You just got to learn.
Absolutely.
You got to understand, man. Because once you understand, you won't go back to eating consistently. And again, every now and then you go through a drive-through. Get it.
Let me live, baby.
Let's live a little. Moderation. Moderation is okay. But you need to be doing the most for your body most of the time.
You better believe I'm sliding through that Jack in the Box drive through for those tacos, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm sliding through Taco Bell to get that quesadilla. It's happening.
Bro, I might never go to Taco. They discontinued the Mexican pizza, and to be honest, I don't know how I feel about it. I honestly feel like I want to boycott the whole situation.
Yeah. Dude, there was this. All right, listen. So my girl sent me this video, right? And it's I wish it was the kind of video I think about, but it's not. All right, it's the kind of video where this chick in some part of Europe, she gets an American Laffy Taffy, and she's like, within her accent, saying like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe the colors on this thing. You could see it from outer space." And what's happening is she's never seen anything like that because it's illegal in her country. It's illegal. Yeah. But things that are illegal other places are completely fine here, and it is like you guys said, it does have a tremendous effect on the cells of our bodies, and we need to be mindful of it at the very least, and start to take a good look, at being.
There's huge consequences. I mean, like I said, use our current situation in our lives now of COVID. And you look at how many hospitalizations there were, and the sheer percentage of people's bodies that were compromised. I mean, it is a staggering number. Staggering. It's sad. It's sad. And
the best
we're spending trillions of dollars not educating people to help themselves. Like it's really I could go down this road for a while, but let's not get there. But it's sad.
Well, I do want to finish off.
People.
I totally agree. And the last thing I want to say is there's a pretty easy remedy to it. Just try to eat more plants. And I still eat meat. I probably eat like 30% meat as opposed to, it's like an accent to my meals, but I feel like we're water people ourselves. We're most of your body is water. So you want to be having intake that is on the pH scale, if we're talking about bases and acids and being alkaline, you want to be kind of close to that alkaline and the things that you're putting into your system and I'm not a nutritionist, so please don't hold me accountable for any of this, but it's just like,
oh, you're accountable, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not a nutritionist,
I've seen you do the one-on-one things.
Yeah,
one-on-one things.
Yeah.
Swaggy was literally dead, dying, dead. And you were like, hey, who wants to go for the next round? Clearly your water was high. You were full alkaline for that match.
Full alkaline. There's something that Tyler's doing that's working. That's why I'm like, I think you should eat more meat, but at the same time, I kind of want to do exactly what you're doing.
And I do eat, like I have not cut that out. It's just like it's the accent. It's not the main course anymore. It's mostly plant, That's just how it's moving these days. But and like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know how I feel.
No, you do know what you're talking about though, because you study this stuff, Ty. And nutrition that's one of the beautiful things actually about nutrition is, for the most part, well, okay, I take that back. Not for the most part. Once you get to a point of understanding good and bad nutrition, you break through that threshold, then you can fit your diet to you. And for everybody, it's a little different.
That's so true.
Yes, so true. Everybody, it's a little different. Maybe you need a little more red meat. Maybe you need a little less. Maybe you need more. But first and foremost, you got to get past the threshold of the processed stuff, which, I mean, Thomas, that is fast food, processed foods. You got to get out of that stuff. You need raw ingredients. Ingredients. That is the foundation of health. Is raw ingredients. It's such a simple thing to understand once you've spent even just a little time reading the research about what these diets, the American diet especially, is doing to our bodies, and what processed foods do to your bodies and all of this stuff. It's so crucial. And so, Thomas, I know you kind of brushed it off. You said we could go down this rabbit hole, but to me, I'll talk about this on every single show we do, because I think it's so crucial to people's well-being. You have more serotonin receptors in your stomach than you do your brain. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter that regulates your happiness. It regulates your mood. It regulates your anxiety.
You got two brains.
You have more of these receptors in your stomach than you do your brain. Food that you eat impacts the way these receptors respond. So you have people that are walking around depressed and have anxiety and cannot function properly. So much of it is diet based. This is to me a very important topic. And so, you say like we could talk. I will talk about it on every show as long as we want to go, because it is so important. I know my body knows there's things where like I fall off the wagon. I'm like, oh, in and out. I'm drinking some cocktails. I'm having a good time 3 days in a row. I gotta go, man, I'm not feeling so hot. I go and I'll put together this nutritious salad that I know that I love. It's got chicken, different beans, nuts, different. It's fantastic. Olive oil, balsamic. I swear to God, I eat it. I start taking a couple bites and I like immediately feel better. Like my body just feels like energized. I feel good.
Right.
There's people that walk around every day, all day, that don't understand this feeling because they're bogged down by El Pollo Loco, McDonald's, Jack in the Box. It's all they're eating, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're losing before you even have a chance to go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And nutrition as pro athletes, I mean, it's imperative that we're doing the right things so that I can be the best version of myself when I step on that field. Yeah. Amen. I love that.
F the field, man. F the field. To me, it's about being able to live a long, healthy life. Like that is more important than anything. I want to compete at the highest level. So yes, it helps there, of course. But I want to be happy first and foremost. That's my only goal in life, is to be happy. Not money, not success. To me, if I'm happy, that is success in all forms. And diet is part of it. Health is
Yeah,
happiness, man. Yeah, I've
that's
watched
right.
so many people close to me suffer because they're unhealthy because of personal choice, and it's like, man, I don't want that life. You know, it's a choice. Sometimes it's
Right.
not, but many times it is.
Yeah, that's true. And there are certain situations where it isn't a choice,
Yeah,
and
right.
there are things that I think as a society we can do to move that forward as well and start to push those agendas, because there is enough for everybody. There absolutely is, and that's
Yeah.
the key. You know what I mean? But to kind of move into the paintball realm, I want to talk about impact action sports and your field a
Yes.
little bit, and kind of give that a boost, and what you guys are doing out there.
Yeah. I mean, so after the fire, I came up here, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Jason, the field owner, had offered me a job, and I turned him down. And um, then things changed, and he made room for me. And we've been really, really blessed. So we got
Mhm.
here, we put in a state of the art turf field. We're
It's
talking.
beautiful. Your guys is,
Thank you. If you
yeah.
haven't seen it, jump on my social media, take a look at it.
Yeah, plug
The
that right now.
staging.
Plug it.
Yeah.
What's
Oh
the
yeah.
Instagram?
We're just my Instagram is troll77, and Thomas Taylor is my Facebook. So
And then
come hit me and
for the field
go
though,
ahead.
I want people to see this
Oh
field.
yeah, so Impact Action Sports, straight up. That's all you got to
Okay,
look up. Impact Action Sports, Tualatin. So
perfect.
you can jump on there. You can take a look. Take a look at the field. It you know we put the pits on the field with the air in the back center. I think we should always be playing from the back center anyways. I don't know why we play from the side.
Yeah.
I like it at World Cup where we come on from the back. It's way better.
So cool.
Yeah.
We
I love
we
it too.
can yeah, it's
Mhm.
you can easily play, but yeah, the turf side of things, I mean, it's really, really well taken care of. We got a huge tower, so we can do all our deals, do all the events from. We have all the NXL buzzers and everything, so people can come out and they can run real points and run real scores. And it's just it's been really cool to see where that's grown over the last year,
Mhm.
a year and a half. And the field's banging. We've added another 200 foot of staging. We got the jelly ball and the low impact and the traditional, and we're going to be expanding here the next few months to another like covered turf field for like kids, but not for the
Awesome.
the tournament side of it, but for the tournament side of it, for what all you guys do. I mean, you got to take a look. We have when I started coming here, we had about 3 teams. We're at about 12 teams now that come out. Uprising comes out. Thunder guys, when they're around, they come out. Josh
Nice.
from Aftermath's up here now, so he's been coming out getting some reps. So you got some pros you can get
Nice,
in with,
nice.
and then
You got to have that. That's
Cartel.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah, people want to get those reps, and they want to be able to move up. We got teams playing the WCs, we got teams playing the NXLs. We run our own series, the Five Alive series, which is kind of like an open division. It's a cheap tournament series, $150. You play a tournament and you leave with medals, but it's about just getting that experience and playing paintball. And then I also started last year, which we're on our second year of the Northwest X Ball, which we run actual X Ball matches. So we got 2 divisions,
Awesome.
and we break it up like the old school. So like we talked about MA and B and Pro. So now we have what we're calling the rookie, novice, and there's the pro division. So it's D4, D5, and D2, D3. So
Oh, that's cool.
uh, yeah. I mean,
Hey,
yeah, I don't
Thomas.
need
I love.
14 divisions. Two
Thomas,
divisions is fine.
I gotta ask,
Yeah.
what do you? Because I hear this a lot, and I know you're so integrated in divisional paintball, which is huge. You're one of the pro players that are at the forefront of like trying to keep that part of the game alive. The APPA system. Now, first of all, major love to Chris Rail. He standardized what we do, and it's important. But I hear there's like a lot of complaints from divisional players on how they get ranked, and it kind of pushes them out of playing tournaments. Like, what do you think
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. So
Yeah, what do you think
I
about that?
agree. I agree. So here it's a great system if everybody was going to spend their life playing the NXL, but
Right,
that
right,
is
right.
actually a
Mhm.
small portion of people that play paintball in general.
Yeah.
So what happens is you play, say, D5, D4 locally, and then you become D3, and there's nowhere to go unless you're going to go play the NXL. Or on
Yes.
the West Coast, you got to go play the WC. But that's all SoCal now. Like it used to be spread out. Mike's doing a great job and he's selling out his events, but you have to go all the way to SoCal. So if you're in Oregon,
Sure.
Washington, Idaho,
Sure.
Montana, you got to come all the way down Colorado. You got to go all the way down there. There's really not any big series on the East Coast. There's like 3 or 4 different series. So I can't really speak for their tournament scheme, but on the West Coast, you get pushed out of paintball. So then like you can like, okay, well the team breaks up and I can play I can play in here, or they got to go find an NXL team, right? So, and we both know going to an NXL is ridiculously expensive. So what I'm seeing is teams come up on their third year, fourth year, they get into that, they try the NXLs, it doesn't go the way they want, it's too expensive, they get out of paintball, they go find a new hobby. And so now you have to recycling it. So I really believe that, Paintball Fit did this. I don't know if this is they're doing or if it's Poly's doing, but they run the basically the Challengers Champions, which is what we started running up here, which is 2 divisions and 2 divisions. So that allows more growth in those divisions. And instead of there being, you get to D3 and you're gone. So we're having trouble filling up our champions up here because there's not a lot of those players. Those players have left or gone, but we're slowly working players into there because they go play and they can't come back and play a local event. It's one of the reasons why our 5 Alive is just open, right? So that it's not just first year players or second year players, but we also don't put any prizes on it, because if we did, then, players would come in and then it would knock out the younger players. So how do you keep them both involved? Well, we go with a cheap tournament series and you give away medals, right? So it's more about just playing paintball. But no, the APA system works if everyone's goal in life is the NXL Pro. It doesn't work if you don't have a major tournament series around you. Does that make sense? And like look at Mike's event. Like, I have at least 3 teams up here that want to play like the D3 or the D2 for Mike's event. They didn't sign up in like the first 8 hours, so they didn't get to go to the WC. It sold out. Well, now what are they going to do? They can't afford NXLs. There's nowhere for them to go play.
And they're ranked too high.
Yeah.
So have you put any
they can't
thought?
even get a team in, right? Because there's no more spots.
Have you put any thought into what a solution would be? Because surely we need some sort of ranking system so you can't sandbag, right? Like that.
Right.
That's fair to say.
I really think we should go back to old school. First year you play, there's a rookie division. Okay, year 1, you're never.
So what was wrong with the old school? I think the old school way was great.
So year 1, you're rookie, right? Once you played rookie, you're not allowed to play rookie ever again. Yeah. You can't have one novice play again. You're done. Then you have your novice thing, and essentially you could play there for as long as you want, right? I mean, that would keep it. And then you go on to play amateur. Now, the reason it didn't work in the past is because people would just stay there forever, right? So you had this thing.
There's an issue.
So there is an issue there, right? So maybe it's not about points, but it's about time a person puts in. So 15 events, 20 events, right? But we should, instead of having 5 divisions where we push them out of the first 2 and then they're gone, bring it back to 3, and then there's pro. And that would allow there to be, and the first division is really like what a lot of fields do now, which is 3-man. It's just your first year of paintball, right? So there's that, so you can always build new players. So instead of us focusing in and trying to all grow, and then there's an area where you could play, because I got players at our field that, this is their second or third year playing the 5 Alives, but that's all they play. Skill level wise, they're still like D4 max players, right? Because they're not out playing all these events and there's getting challenged, right? Yeah, they're not getting like real experience. They are playing tournaments and they're getting that, but they're not. It's a different of playing. You go play D4 at WC, you're like, oh my Lance, you know what I mean? It's another level, right? So I think it should be based more on time. Yes, you got to get points, but pushing people through 1 year, then they're done. That doesn't work. What about 1 year at rookie, say 3 years at novice, and then you have to play amateur?
It only pushes them through if they do well in that year, though. Like if you're a D3 team, if you're a D3 team.
But that's the problem. There is no D3 tournaments, Marcel. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There is no D3 tournaments.
Well, there's a lot of D3 tournaments. It's D2 that you don't get much of, right? It's like anything.
Where's your D3 tournaments? WC.
I feel like any
on the
of
West
the
Coast.
TSXL, OPS, there's tons of D3 tournaments, dude. I coach D3 teams all over the country.
West Coast.
No, this is East Coast too. No, East Coast.
No,
OPS.
I know. I'm speaking. I can't speak. I know. I said there's a lot on the East Coast. We don't have a lot in the West Coast. Is what I'm saying. The West Coast, we have WC.
Okay, no, I get that. But so you're saying that there's only D4 and D5 tournaments on the West Coast?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, that's interesting. That goes in the inverse of my concern, though. To be honest, I think maybe we're splitting hairs there. because to my understanding, the biggest issue is around that D3, D2 range, because there's not many D2 tournaments unless you're playing a national event, right? So there's a lot of players and teams that are like, they've outgrown these regional events, right? They've outgrown their
Right.
regional league, but they don't want to play a bunch of NXLs. They might not even be good enough to. They're just points kind of say they are because they've won a bunch of local D3 events and they have nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, they, I don't know. Okay, let's break it back into groups again. Let's say we did rookie.
Sure.
Say we did rookie, novice, amateur. Your amateur is your D3, D2 level. Okay.
Yeah.
That is all that one. It needs to become one. Let's just get rid of D2 altogether. That just becomes, so you spend a little more time there. You're not trying to push through that in a year. And maybe that's a 2-year deal. But if we brought it in as one after that, honestly, if your goal is to do something more than that level, then you do need to go play an NXL.
Yes, for sure. Okay.
Right.
Makes sense.
But if we're going to break it up into D5, D4, D3, D2, yeah, you're right. We're going to always miss that. That's why I really believe, and I know maybe I'm oversimplifying it, 1 year rookie, say 2 or 3 years novice, and then you move into that amateur bracket. And if you want to move past the amateur bracket, you need to go to an NXL.
Yeah, but so I think a lot of players, they don't want to move past that. I think this is my point. They don't want to move past that bracket. They want to keep playing tournaments, but they don't want to be pro. They don't want to go and take that next step. Like I think that's the story for a lot of D3 type players, like they just want to go and continue to play at their local events and stay there. I think I put limited thought into this, right? So I'm probably going to sound pretty dumb. I'm okay with that. But the simple thing to me is like, there should just be a tiered point system. Like if it's not an NXL, you don't earn as many points, and I know that you earn a X amount of points based on how many teams you're at an event. So I know it's already kind of tiered, but maybe it needs to be more so. Like if you're,
can I pause you real quick?
Yeah, totally. Sure. Absolutely.
So you're saying they're getting pushed out of D3 because they score too many points.
Yes.
And what I'm saying is the answer to that is you stop pointing it. It's just an amateur.
You just stop.
The same thing you're saying.
Right. So the
points mean nothing.
Okay. Do you think
you score 5 million points? It doesn't make a difference.
Do you think then though you do run into an issue where people wouldn't sign up because they say, well, look, these guys have been almost pro but not pro for 10 years, winning here every single event. Why would we play that?
Well, and that's why you allow them to play the novice for more than 1 year.
Sure.
Okay. So you expand that to 2 or 3 years. And then at that point, if you played, listen, if you're listening to this, this is not for Marcel, this is for you. If you've played a single division for 3 years and you're not willing to move up, paintball might not be your sport.
No, fair enough, for sure. Well, actually,
keep doing it for fun.
Well, actually, if you're not winning,
right,
then that's one thing.
That could, right. It could be a lot of things though. It could be your team.
Totally.
It could be where you're at.
Agreed.
And we can all sit in a circle and people listening.
Yeah.
You're going to find out at some point, maybe your heart, your passion is for it and you're putting in the work, but you don't have the right teachers or you don't have the right skill set. There's something holding you back. If that's what it is, then invest that time into growing yourself so that you can take the next step. But I am agreeing with you on, we have a problem across the board, as in we push them D5, D4, D3, D2, and you don't even have to win. You just play all D4 events for a year. They bump you to D3. You could be almost dead last, and it's still enough points to move you to D3. Right? You're like, oh, okay. Well,
is it? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah. If you play every event,
that's a problem. So come on, that's a problem. That's a problem.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It is a big problem. So what happens in the West Coast, I've seen a lot, is you have these players that have been D4 for like 5 years. It's because they play 2 events a year.
Right.
And then they just dip out.
Right.
And then they just dip out. And then they show back up, they play the 2 events. And then
that makes sense.
Because they know, because they're playing the points game. They're playing the points game. And you lose an event every year. So maybe they play 3. I might be exaggerating, but they lose one every year, right? So they can even go win one, but they drop off. So the answer is let's, and Paintball Fit, like you talked to those guys, they did it really with the challengers and champions. There you have huge leagues because it's not about one division, it's about multiple divisions,
Sure.
and you can play there,
Sure.
and you don't have to leave the D5, D4 until either you've earned enough points or you've won. When you win,
Right.
then they force you up.
Right.
Right. So you've won.
Right.
Okay. Hey, listen, you won. Good for you. Now go play the next level so the other people have a chance to win and grow. So I like that format. And if we take it from, 6, 7 divisions back down to 3, and then there's 3, and then at NXL you have semi-pro and pro, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, those two, let's not count those.
I think it's okay. Sorry, Thomas. Keep going.
No. What I'm saying, a semi-pro player could come play in the amateur bracket, or a semi-pro team even shows up. You're like, I pick a good semi-pro team right now. I can't think of it. Let's do Aftermath 2 or
Leverage.
Brawl. Perfect.
Yeah,
Brawl shows up to your amateur event, and you're like, oh my goodness, really good. Well, that is awesome, because now you get the opportunity to test your merit against someone that's out there banging on the other thing. It's not a negative, right? I mean, once
a
again,
lot of people don't look at it
That's
that
a
way.
huge-
Yeah, but that's a
Right.
rare breed to look at it that way.
but they shouldn't. If they what is it? If they're tired of, if they don't want to move up and they're tired of winning events, then they're what kind of sport do you want to play? I mean, like I said, when we did amateur A, amateur B, and pro, I had to play Dynasty right off the bat, right? I mean, you can look at that like, oh, well, that's not fair, but everybody has to play that team. So what does it matter?
We need to get Chris Rell on the
right?
show. We need to get Chris Rell. We need to talk about this, because one thing that I
the
will
local leagues, it should change.
Right.
It should change.
There should be there needs to be some sort of
happy medium.
It's a grouping.
It's
a grouping.
100%.
We need to shrink the.
I know
Don't let
that enough
sandbag rookie.
Right. Enough divisional players have talked to me about the issues here. And I think a big issue is they earn all these points in their regionals and then are forced to compete in the NXL in a division that's like way too much for them. And
Absolutely.
so I think there's some happy medium. Again, I'm not I guess educated enough on how the system works and all that to really have a good answer, but it came up, on the fly. I was unprepared for this conversation, but it's a conversation that I think is worth having, because I know enough divisional players have voiced concerns about it.
So one thing we do with our challengers and our champions, right? So if you don't win the events, I go in and I delete your players.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
you don't even get points if you don't win.
Before.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because
I like
the only
that.
people that win need to move up, right? They have their already points. Yeah. Now, there has been teams that are like, hey, listen, we want those points because we want it to rank on our thing, right? Now, okay, well, I'll leave your team in there. I mean, that it's going to affect whatever you do, because
so you're manipulating the system is what you're saying.
Right, exactly, because it's not perfect unless your teams are going to NXL. In the Northwest, there's not a lot of teams that plan to play the NXL. There's like 3.
Right.
So if we push all those teams out, this is a real problem. I'm with you. If we push all those teams to D3, guess where they go? Snowboarding or whatever else you're going to do in the Northwest. It's not paintball.
Exactly.
I don't want that. You don't want that. The industry doesn't want that. No one wants that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Thomas, we've had you here for quite some time, and we're loving every second of it. Before we let you go, I want to run through some of the questions that our listeners have for you.
Yeah, let's bust those out.
So we got George Jocelyn. And this kind of ties in right now with what's going on. We're talking about divisionals. He's saying, what's one mistake a lot of divisional players make on the field?
That is a great question. Is it on the field specifically, or just in their careers?
I think we can just kind of round it out. He wasn't really specific.
Okay, so the biggest mistake I see divisional players making is not focusing on the fundamentals. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you watch them play, they're not focusing on the fundamentals. They're divisional players, and I get it, because our sport's so fun, guys. You just want to go play.
Exactly.
And you shoot all your paint, and you don't save some to do your own work at the end of the day. An extra 500 paintballs or whatever. That's the biggest thing, because it's slowing your progression. But hey, listen, if your goal is just to have fun and always do it, and you're not worried about winning events or beating the dude, then that's completely okay. Give me 1.5 seconds.
No, you're right, Thomas. And I see that all the time.
It's not focusing on the fundamentals. And you guys do your clinics. Like I said, we talked about this before. People show up and I've been playing 5 years. I've been doing this. And you're like, man, you're still coming out of your bunker like this. No one ever told
elbows
you to
up.
drop that thing down. I mean, and I know that's a cheesy one, but I'm just talking in general, right? We're not we're not spending time devoting, to the fundamentals. And so that would be the biggest thing. And if I can tie one thing into that, is not understanding how important it is to use these and this, right? These and
Ears
this will
and mouth.
change your game, because you could be less skilled if you're using these. You can make up for a lot of that, because when someone's coming, what's going on, right? So
Totally.
those two things. A lot of people like to yell stuff, they don't like to listen. But man, do yourself a favor. Take that case that you're going to buy for the day, take 500, go hide it. And then when you're done with these, and know, okay, now I'm going to use this on me, right?
Well, that's right. The players, even when we do trainings, they see the way that we approach the fundamentals, like you're talking about. They're like, I had no idea that you guys are actually spending this much time doing these types of things. They're just going out and playing and not working on that kind of stuff. And it's absolutely huge that you start to implement that into your training process, for sure. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
So I got another one here from Chris. Thank you, Chris. Who invented the Taserball game, and why did they think it was a good idea?
Man, we've been on here for a while, so I don't want to go full length into this.
Yeah.
Do another episode someday, because we can go on for an hour just about this. But
Taserball
was it was Leaf from KM and Eric Prum.
And for people who don't know, they would run around with a huge ball, and everybody had tasers, and you had to try and score it like a soccer game almost, and try to survive getting tased while you're doing it.
So I'm going to tell you right now, none of us thought it was a good idea. Long story short, when we did this, they flew us all in, had us sign an NDA, and then told us, this is what we're doing tomorrow. We all said no. And then we went back to the hotel rooms. We started having a conversation. I was probably one of the leaders in helping it to go down, because after a while of talking, I was like, guys, this is so dumb. It is going to go viral. Like, we could actually make money on this. This is the dumbest thing ever. So then people were like, no. So we talked ourselves into it nonetheless. I don't know who the full instigator was, but originally we told them no. And then we went out and we did it, and we actually did it in a few different countries, and it did go viral. And it had a lot of people that wanted to actually put money behind it and do it. Yeah. Long story short, they signed with a production agency that really took the rights to squash it, because they had other stuff going on they thought it was going to compete with. Oh, and wow. So that ended up killing it off, unfortunately. But it's gone viral. It's gone viral over like 4 times now. The videos.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
About once a year.
So a company bought it to kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The corporate world we live in, huh?
Yeah. Corporate world we live in. Crazy.
Yeah. No joke. I feel really bad for Leaf and Eric, because it did go, and basically our goal was to get it going, get big, do a couple shows, and then I was instantly going to get out and just do like coaching with it. And they had these cool shows planned. I can take the tase, like I could just run through the tases. I got it. That's just how I'm built, right?
Dude, I was watching,
but I didn't like it.
You're a maniac out there, bro. You're a maniac. Can you still watch it? Can you still check it out? It's on. Yeah.
Dude,
where can they find it?
It's called I think look up Tackball, because Taser I think tried to sue them, so they switched the name to Tackball. Okay. Tackball, I think that's what it's called. But no joke, at least once a year I get tagged in the videos when they're going viral again, with millions of views every time.
That's tight.
It's just people be like, "Oh my goodness, that's Thomas Taylor!" Like, it's right on the field, the Mohawk, right?
The Mohawk, baby, full circle.
That's right.
Hell yeah,
damn, dude. All right, and then George Joslin, he wanted to know what sports you played. We already went over that, and your mind space and heading into matches as well, and we kind of went over that as well. And then just one last thing is, when you walk a field, some tips on walking a field. This is the last question we got here from Mr. George.
There's a lot of tips to walking the field, really, but
look at every spot.
I think there's, first off, for you as an individual, you need to know every bunker you're going to play and every shot from that, as well as everybody that can shoot you, right? So, one of the things that, I did really early on in my career was spending a ton of time in the snake, learning how to position my body and to use things around so I could just pop up and put a ball on and kill someone. I didn't even have to look to find out if they were there. So you need to first know every angle of every spot you're in. If someone moves to this spot, how do I got to position my body? So know your spots that you're going to be playing, to the max. And then in this day and age, everybody's so good at paintball and laning. You need to pick the spots of where people are going to get shot off the break. What are the high percentages, and then looking at where you think the game's going to be won from. Is there a massive 50 bunker that if someone gets there, no one's ever getting to the Dorito side or the snake side? Is there a snake that has 14 knuckles in it, and if they get in there and we don't, they're going to come to our end or wreck our lives? So understanding how a game is going to be won, or if there is a spot. Not all fields have it. I'm going to be real with you. I mean, lately we've had some fields where it's just kind of like, well, you can kind of attack everywhere, and what game plans is going to work against the other one, right? But at World Cup last year, if teams flooded enough bodies through the snake, I mean, getting in there, and there was multiple ways to get in, they won a lot of those points, right? So that'd be a good one to go back and look at, and look how teams played it. And, Ryan coming over from the middle, or people running around from the outside, going in from the corner, or cutting across. Teams knew they needed to lock that spot down and to attack it. So when you're looking at the field, where's the game going to be won and lost? Every square inch. Like, you should never be at an event and be like, oh man, that guy shot me, I didn't know that, or oh, that happened, or I missed my shot. Why did you not spend an extra couple minutes? Like, you don't even need paintballs to do that. Just go put in the work and know that. Like, I would never dream of coming off the field and telling Travis, oh, that guy got me, I didn't know you could do that. Like,
good luck with that.
Million years.
And I love what you said about the
now
5.
and then I do get caught by a bounce shot that I didn't figure out, man.
Dude, bounce shots. Don't even get me started on bounce shots. Oh my God. It's just this. It's the most unsatisfying way to see someone get eliminated. Like, I want to see people getting just, shot straight up with the paintball gun. You know what I mean?
Blind layouts. Can I say blind layouts? Just blind me. Blind.
No.
Blind layouts.
No. No. Thomas, stop it with your nonsense, dude. You and the rest of your infamous guys. Tell Brett Messer we need to get him on the show so I could shut his dumb blind layout idea down too.
It would be so good for bounce shots, though.
Yeah, bounce shots are a good part of the game, dude. It's high level.
What?
Level.
I can't even believe my ears right now.
You're telling me that you can't. I'm shooting a ball off of a bunker into you. That is skilled as F, bro.
Well, I mean, no, because you just shoot pods and pods and pods.
So limit the paint. Limit the paint. If I want to,
there we go.
Limit the paint.
Gunfight. I'm okay with that.
Limit the paint. I'm down with limiting the paint. But if I can shoot a ball off a bunker and into you, bro, that's like the highest level IQ. Are you kidding me? That is next level shit. That's Matrix.
Do it, and it's not fun to watch.
Bro,
it's not good for growing your sport.
No, baloney.
Just because you get loud.
Listen. We don't have time to go into this conversation now. We're well over 3 hours. We don't have time for this. But listen, if people understood,
pick this up another day. And
this is the biggest issue: is people need to understand what we're doing. If they understood what we were doing, if there was 2 minutes in between points to show an instant replay of a bounce shot, it would go viral and we'd have millions of views.
It'd be way sweeter if I was gunfighting you and shot you in the face.
Well,
it would.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
we talked about this. We talked about this. Bro.
I'm just saying that would be a way better 2 minutes.
I don't know, dude. Like, if I saw in slow motion a shot going out of my barrel, bouncing off a bunker and into someone's face, I think as a spectator, I would be like, what? What kind of John Wick shit just happened?
Yeah.
That's why John Wick.
No, you're right.
Like, dude, we just need to film it better, and we need 2 minutes. We need to be able. That's it, dude. Like, what we do is exciting.
I can't let you win on this, dude. The bounce shot is not cooler than gogging someone straight up, bro. Sorry.
If you gog somebody on a bounce shot, yeah, it's cooler.
I mean, you can say that, but it's so unsatisfying.
If you take somebody that does not follow paintball, and they see
you're way louder than us right now. I'll do that.
And they see slow motion, a ball leaving your barrel and hitting someone's goggles. Okay, one of the best. That's called the money shot in paintball. If they see it and you have the right angle of it and it hits a bunker and then go like you see.
Listen, we don't have enough time for this. We don't have enough time for all this.
You're adding another layer. You want to diminish and water down what we do. That's on you guys.
watered down
if you guys
bounce
would like
shots,
to,
bro.
if you guys would like to
Take
water
away
down,
from skill.
if you guys would
They
like to
take
water
away from
down,
skill.
if you guys would like to water,
Yeah.
it's like it's harder to shoot somebody on a bounce shot than a straight up shot. How do you not
Marcelo,
understand that? It's
You gotta
unbelievable.
be kidding.
Marcelo.
Dude, you have to hit a bunker in a certain spot for it to have the right angle to hit somebody.
Okay. I just need you to answer me one question, and then we got to move on because I got to put my kids to bed.
All right. What is it?
All right. Can you take Joe Blow D5 player, put him on the other side of the field from Tyler Harmon, and him beat him in a gunfight? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Could you show him where that little spot on the bunker is and bounce off of it to hit Tyler Harmon?
Not if Tyler's aware of it. No. The answer is no.
That's I'm not. This is
no.
taking Tyler
It is. No,
question.
it is, dude. It is. So you're discounting the intelligence it takes for the other person to avoid getting shot by a bounce shot.
I'm not talking about the person getting shot. I'm talking about the person doing the killing.
Yeah, and listen, I'll tell you what. The answer to that is also no. You cannot take Joe Schmo because I coach a lot of teams.
I do it all the time.
I do too, and I'm like, hey, shoot this spot, and like it doesn't go into him, and I'm like, well, bro, you're 5 feet too high on the bunker. Like you need to shoot
but
bottom
then you can bring their barrel down. You can show them they're not going to beat Tyler in a gunfight. They're just not.
You're right. You're right.
Zero them in on the
You're
bounce
right.
shot,
But what you're discounting?
You're saying it takes less skill. I'm just saying it takes less skill.
But what you're discounting is the intelligence it takes to find that shot. So you're talking about coaching now, which is sure that's a part of the game, but the intelligence it takes to find that shot, that is high IQ, my brother. That is a triple pass. That is high IQ to find that shot. Yes.
It's just so unsatisfying. I can't.
It's just it.
Hey guys, we're at like 3.5 hours. I got to put your kids to bed at this point, Thomas. You know, it's time.
You probably should send Tiff a Dutch brother. She's probably.
And while we're at it, shout out to your family. You got the best family in the world. Tiffany, Eddie, the whole family, and Ma and Pa, everybody. Just love your family so much, man. Got to say that.
Thomas, where can everybody keep up with you, brother?
Yep. Yeah. Hit me up on my Facebook. It's Thomas Taylor. My Instagram, Troll77. You can message me on Twitter, but I guess I use it a little bit. But I don't use it that much.
Twitter's a small. I see you every now and then, like my tweets. I'm like, that's my dude. Yeah, we've got like.
I know. I come in there.
The Twitter.
You got something good to
say.
I
grow it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we gotta grow the Twitter game.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you gotta stay live. But yeah, I mean, just message me personally. I'm always on there for whatever reason. You know, products. You want to know something about it. You know, I work with a lot of companies. Obviously, Infamous is our big one. Planet Eclipse, and then you just want to talk about paintball. You want to do whatever. You want to set something up, clinics. You want to buy a jersey. I don't know. You want to
show them some bounce shots.
Do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
You want to show me some bounce shots? But you can hit me up, and thanks for having me, boys.
Dude,
Taylor,
Thomas, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love it. Thank you for being such a rock star in paintball. We cannot thank you enough for all the energy you bring and everything that you bring to the fabric of paintball. It's timeless, and we can't thank you enough for being here with us, man. Thank you.
Love my boys.
You have a seat here anytime, brother. Thank you.
Yeah,
all
baby.
Right, boys. God bless.
Have a good night. God bless. Peace.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. As always, we are so appreciative of every single one of you listeners. We really hope you enjoyed the show. If you guys like the show, love the show, want to be part of the show, head over to ptgpaintball.com, and you guys can sign up, become a supporter. You can listen to all of our episodes on there, watch YouTube, whatever it might be. Everything is available on the website. Our website is brought to you by Rusty Glaze at Concept Pursuit. And as always, guys, we're going to be back at it again very, very soon. This will be the last show until next week. So we hope everybody has a very happy Easter. I hope you get to enjoy time and great food with your family and your loved ones. And we'll see you soon.